Welcome to the Trading Sliders Podcast. Here we go, episode number 11 of the Trading Sliders Podcast. I'm Bobby Puckett. I'm here with Kurt the Flash Bennett. What's going on, Flash?
Not much. Sore feet and...
All right, guys, so on this episode, there's going to be some background noises maybe, but we've done the best we can to eliminate those. But we are currently at the Brooklyn Bridge Park, Pier 2 to be exact.
Yep, in New York City.
In New York City with the background of Manhattan behind us. It's a beautiful weekend up here. A little chilly, a little windy, but you'll probably be able to hear the wind.
Yeah, you might be able to hear the wind a little bit on this one.
But we've made a trip this weekend, and we're going to talk about it. This week's sponsor is, well, us.
Yeah.
So it's going to be Flash's grilled fish and Food Bar race cars this week. I didn't really get no sponsors this week because, well, like I said, we've been on the road since Wednesday night. We're going to talk about Gateway. That's pretty much it. Talk about our trip, talk about Gateway.
Yeah.
This week's interview is none other than my little brother, Ricky Puckett.
Yep, Ricky Puckett.
Very, very interesting interview. As you can hear the helicopters flying over right now, here we are.
Yeah.
Very, very good interview, actually. I hope you guys, stick around for that. It's a little bit long, but our show is going to be short this week, short and sweet. Like I said, coming from the hustle and bustle of New York City. Started off, Flash and I, we made the trip. We were supposed to be going to Niagara Falls.
Right, yeah.
And we kind of had to, relocate, call Plan B on that because they had something like 8 feet of snow.
Yeah, with all the lake effect snow right on I-90, which was how he's going to have to go up there. Yeah. So we decided to take another little trip, different direction.
Yeah, so this is what we did. Lake effect snow, we said, no, we're not going to do that. And we end up in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Yeah.
On the boardwalk.
Which was really nice, actually.
Yeah, it was. I've seen a lot of pictures of Atlantic City and it being super slammed with people. That was not the case this weekend.
No. You had to look for people this time.
Yeah, it was about 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Wind blowing 100 mile an hour, but we stayed at Caesars. It was beautiful. Atlantic City. It's the first time I've ever been to Atlantic City, and I definitely want to go back.
Yeah.
It was really, really pretty.
But we did go check out where they have the race there. So
yeah, we went by the Boardwalk Hall. Where the TQ Midget race runs every January. That's going to be a bucket list thing.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna hit it up this year because I'm going to the Chili Bowl and it's like 2 weeks after the Chili Bowl. And we got some stuff coming up in February, but Atlantic City is definitely one we're going to put on the list.
Yeah.
So we left Atlantic City first off in Atlantic City. First time in a long time I didn't lose any money at the casino.
Yeah. Well, I can't say that.
Flash, on the other hand, lost a little bit at the casino.
Yeah.
But I did figure out if you spend enough money, they will give you free drinks.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was fun. But then we left Atlantic City and made the trip up here to New York City. And we've been here for 2 days and doing all the festive stuff, doing all the Christmas stuff. I think we've walked like 30 miles, close to 30 miles.
Yeah, I'd say so by now. We was at 23 this morning before we came over here.
Yeah, so we walked close to 30 miles. Doing our part, losing some weight.
Yeah.
Staying healthy. As Kurt's shivering right now because the wind's blowing to our back about 90 mile an hour.
It's about 45 right now though, so it's not that bad.
Yeah,
but we are right on the. We're literally on the Hudson River right behind us. 30 feet behind us.
Yep, the Hudson River is a few steps behind us, and about a half mile to the left is a Brooklyn Bridge, where we're about to make the trek across the Brooklyn Bridge.
Look over my shoulder, I can see the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, so this is an iconic place here in New York City, and it's been a really fun trip.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance to do it, it's well worth doing, but you do have to walk a lot and learn the subway.
Yeah.
The subway is really cool, though, I think. I work in the transportation business. I work on buses. A lot of people don't know that, but to see how many people they move in this city it's amazing. It's just crazy.
Yeah, the infrastructure here in New York City is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's unbelievable what they do.
People don't understand really. Like I hear people say all the time, "Why do you want to go to New York City? It's nasty, it's dirty."
Yeah, and
New York City's beautiful.
It's totally the opposite of that. I mean, I don't know who's telling you that. I don't know where they live at, but this place, I ain't been many places that are much cleaner than this place. Yeah, it's crazy.
I love New York. I'm a big advocate. I think everybody, especially being from our area, small town.
Yeah.
Like small town USA needs to come see New York City.
Oh,
just one time.
Yeah.
You need to go to Manhattan. You need to, go to Times Square. We went to Central Park.
Yeah.
And here
but you might Plan a couple days on instead of try to do all that in one day.
Well, see, Kurt, I knew we only had a few days, so I want to make sure you've seen everything.
Yeah.
I've been here before, so.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome though.
And I said it's beautiful here, and it's one of these places that I kind of. This is our second year in a row, and I kind of am going to try to do this at least once a year, or at least every other year.
Yeah.
It's not a very cheap trip, though.
No,
it's not a very cheap trip, but it is a fun trip.
But they got good food, and their parks up here are beautiful. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about when we were here. Is like, there's so much concrete that the parks just, I don't know if the parks are really that beautiful, or if it's just it's so different. You're like, damn, that's nice.
It's like, hey, there's a tree.
Yeah. But guys, we're going to talk about Gateway because yes, we watched Gateway Thursday night. We watched it while we were traveling to Atlantic City. Was it Thursday night?
Yeah,
Thursday
night.
Yeah, we've been gone so long, I can't remember. Yeah, Thursday night, we watched it like literally while we were traveling to Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Watched every hot lap qualifying and everything. And Thursday night, Opie, Mike Spatola got the win over Ashton Winger. And, I thought Ashton Winger really was going to get him, but I think he knew all three cars were getting the redraw.
Right.
I'm going to put it this way.
Yeah.
Ashton Winger was a lot nicer to Opie than what he normally would be.
Right. I think he wanted to make sure he was in the show and had a chance of starting on the front row.
And Brandon Shepard, ran third. Such a good, field of cars. The track kind of one-laned on the bottom. I think they put too much water on it before the feature.
Right.
The modified feature was really good Thursday night.
Yeah.
Minus Ricky Thornton Jr. just killing them.
Yeah.
But second on back, there were slide jobs and everything else. But Ricky Thornton Jr. took the win. Carlos Amado Jr. ran second, and Michael Long ended up running third.
Man, you get to a track where Ricky can hit his mark, so it's over. You're not passing him
and they found that out Friday night too.
He's like Larson. He's got like an internal clock, I think, that he knows how fast he's going every single lap. You know what I mean? It's some guys are just like that. It's crazy.
Well, Ricky Thornton Jr., he's one of those guys that I think he is by far, hands down, a generational talent.
Yeah.
Everybody says, we got a screaming kid here in the background.
Yeah.
He does not like to swing set.
Yeah.
That kid doesn't like to swing set like Flash don't like the hills here.
Yeah.
But Ricky Thornton Jr., he's a generational driver. He can hit his marks. He can drive anything. Slide jobs, I can do that. Slow down in the rubber, I can do that.
Yeah.
Big hose, hell, I'll go through them. It's no big deal.
Right.
But Friday night, Ricky Thornton Jr. took the win in the late models over Nick Hoffman and Gordy Gundigger. I thought Gundigger was going to win.
Yeah, I did too.
He led for about 15, 16 laps, but then I think his car just got a little too snug up there on the cushion.
Yeah.
You had to come down and hit your marks on the bottom the last 10 laps.
Yeah, the last 10, it was pretty much locked down.
Well, I thought it was locked down too, but Ricky Thornton Jr. said, well...
Yeah, he went over past two cars with the...
Yeah, that's what...
5 or 6 to go, and he said, well, maybe it wasn't that bad up here.
Well, that's what he said. He said, I thought it was rubbered up, but I guess it wasn't, hell. So, but I think Ricky Thornton Jr. was just going so much faster than him, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was rubbered up.
Yeah.
But they did work on it a little bit for the, for the modified feature. But, Jordan Grabowski and Trent Young had a good race for second. But Trevor Neville was like, guys, I'm going.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
And that was kind of the theme for the weekend with Trevor Neville. I mean, he swept the show on Friday, and then he drew the pole for Saturday.
Yeah.
And then it was all she wrote Saturday. Friday night's racing wasn't as good. But I tell you what, the Gateway Dirt Nationals event, it is one of those events that keeps growing and growing. And I've been there. I really, really enjoy it. But I just think it's great that we're getting an event. Like, they were talking about a few things on national sports shows this week.
Yeah.
Right? And, dirt late model racing doesn't get that.
Yeah.
I'm super happy for that.
And it's going to pay 50 grand next year, too.
Yeah, 50 grand to win, 3,000 to start.
Yeah.
So I think there's some of those guys that stay home and said, I don't want to be a part of this. I think they might be a part of it now.
Yeah, they might go ahead and try to take a chance. But, I mean, guys sell out of T-shirts there, too. I mean, you get so many people go and everybody buys shirts, and those guys, make part of their year just by selling stuff at that show, probably.
Well, and on this show, like they said there was over 30,000 people.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how many it was, but, I think 30 to 40,000 is the World 100 crowd.
Yeah.
So this event in 9 years, crowd-wise, it's up there with all of them. It's a spectacle, and it's not for everybody. I get it.
I know what else is up there with the Eldora, the 50-50. It was $90,000 last night.
Yeah. So
your part was $90,000, so that's pretty good too.
But I get where people say it's it's not for me or because.
But you know what? I think a lot of people that I see, because we know a lot of asphalt people, there were a lot of asphalt guys that normally don't go to a dirt race that was there too. So you get a more diverse group of people going, I think, than you do at a normal.
You're getting a crossover.
Yeah.
You're getting a
Because
crossover.
the time it is in the winter time, other guys ain't racing, there's nothing to do, so they want to go check it out. And that's great because they'll probably show up at some other races,
Yeah. And one thing I want to say, about Gateway is hats off to Cody Summers and that whole crew, because I've been there, and it's kind of like like us being in New York City. We see how everything works, and how crazy it is. Well, I've been to Gateway, and when they were loading in the trailers, and it's just amazing how they pull all that off.
Yeah.
In such a short time. I mean, it's like a 2-week turnaround from track build, have the event, track tore down in 2 weeks,
and get out of there.
Yeah. So Gateway's not going anywhere anytime soon, and thank God for that. But Saturday night, B-Shep took the lead, and when B-Shep got the lead, it was pretty much all she wrote. But Bobby Pierce and Ricky Thornton Jr., they did battle. I think Thornton started, fading there at the end, but Bobby Pierce started 11th, and ended up running second. And he was, or started 12th, I think, ended up running second. But Pierce really had a shot at B-Shep about 2 to go, and got up on the cushion a little bit, and he said he broke something in the drive line, and I think the J-bar or something ended up breaking it up.
I think he pretty much coasted across the line.
Yeah,
he said he was happy to get second.
Yeah, because when he broke, he broke actually coming off 2 on the white flag lap. Yeah. And he kind of gassed it up down the backstretch, and then as he's going into 3, it was shut down. Yeah. So it broke, and he rode across the line, barely got it. And in the modifieds, it was all Trevor Neville. Trevor Neville had no challenge whatsoever. Well, I say no challenge. Trent Young had a shot at him, there, but Trent Young had one shot at him, and when he caught him, he probably could have done something, but he shoved the nose in the cushion a little bit. Trent Young is a phenomenal race car driver from our area, the Kentucky area, Crofton, Kentucky. This is Western Kentucky. It's not quite our area, but if you run modified specials in the Louisville area, you know who Trent Young is. Yeah. Because he's come there and beat up on you a little bit. I say Gateway Dirt Nationals was a success. Yeah. 35,000 people. It's going to be a success. I'm glad that it's progressed to what it has, and hopefully it will keep getting bigger.
It's pretty cool they do with the fans. They do the introductions, the famous introductions now pretty much is what, everybody tries to come up with something new every year to do, and that's actually really cool. I like watching it just for that part of it.
Yeah, well, and one other thing too is, there's always some kind of drama at the Drome.
Oh yeah.
At the Dome. That's at the Drome.
That's the difference.
Yeah, because that's where we grew up. Drama at the Drome. Yeah, no shit. Drama at the Dome.
Most time I was the cause of it.
Yeah. Flash was part of some drama at the Drome back in the day. And our guest this week, Ricky, is he's a part of a lot of drama at the Drome. We talk about that in the interview. It's like, damn slick. I mean, but
you know how bad that is. Ricky hired me to drive his car one time, so
well, he talked about that too. It was real bad. He got kicked out and had that flash drive.
I didn't get to make it over for the interview, so Bobby did that interview on his own. I was really wanting to be there to actually thank Ricky again, because Ricky's one of the only people I think I've only ever drove for 1 or 2 other car owners, and that was it. That I usually always just drove my own stuff, so I'd like to give Ricky a big shout out for letting me try it that night anyway. It was one of the 100 lap races.
Well, one of the funny things was he said, I've done it by myself before, and they threw me out one week, and I called Flash. He said, there's no better person to get thrown out of the Drome because he'll get thrown out too. So,
been there, done that.
But so it was a really fun guest. But one thing I wanted to say about the fight between Super Shep and Tyler Carpenter, and Flo does a really good job at getting both interviews and kind of doing a montage. And one thing that they kind of build something up, but one thing about Super Shep, and especially if I don't know if Tyler Carpenter's crew didn't watch Dirt on Dirt when they were growing up. The Super Shep will fly down the straightaway and drop kick you through the windshield. And I think a couple of his crew members found out that Super Shep said mess around and find out, and they did. So but it was a really good show, and we're gonna go ahead and I guess that's about it. We could cover a lot more stuff, but like I said, it's a pretty long interview, and we're here in New York, and we still got.
They did do something different this year. They sent about two cars out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
One of them almost all the way out. One of them looked like it was all the way out. I didn't see what happened to the guy that landed upside down, but
I'll tell you one thing, he went for a ride.
Yeah.
Where he was at,
Yeah.
we didn't need to see no video.
that's at least 10 foot up. I know.
At least 10 foot.
Yeah.
And what goes 10 foot up has got to come 10 foot down.
Yeah.
And so, but shout out to the track crew at Gateway, because they had extensive fence repairs and stuff. And, you know, it was a pretty timely matter. We had some people there that we talked to. Rebuild what they had to rebuild in a short period of time.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty amazing.
They got that down to a science now, pretty much.
Yeah. So and that's about it, you know, for this week. We got the interview here with my little brother Ricky, and like I said, I think you guys are gonna really enjoy this interview. It's time for the Trading Sliders Deep Dives presented by Kentucky Clutch and Performance. Here we go, Trading Sliders Deep Dives. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say I have a special guest, this is a real special guest. This one here is one I've been wanting to do ever since I started the show. Was kind of waiting until we got closer to Christmas, but it's Thanksgiving, so it's close enough, and you know that's for the family. My little brother, Slick Ricky Puckett, on the Trading Sliders podcast. What's going on, Ricky?
No, not much. Just ready to go back racing.
Hell, you just got home. What do you mean, ready to go back racing?
I don't like this winter break.
Yeah, winter break. It's been 2 weeks. He's in a winter break. All right, guys, this here is going to be a different episode than what we normally do, because I can pick on him the whole time because he's my little brother. I know a lot of these I do. People say I kind of pick on the guests a little bit, but this one here I will stick a jab here and there. But for guys that don't know, but I know a lot of people follow us. They're in the dirt world. My little brother is probably one of the most. He is the most winningest driver in Sportsstrom's history in the last 5 or 6 years. The most controversial driver in Sportstrom's history in the last 4 or 5 years. He's been kicked out, barred, and everything in between. But as we go on through this interview, I think you're going to find out he may be growing up just a little bit. This is going to be fun. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time. And I told him when I started this podcast, he said, don't have me on unless you really want me to be on. And I said, well, when I have you on, I don't know if we'll have another show. So this is how it's going to go. First off, as we were growing up racing, you first got your start, because, you know, just like me, our dad raced, and that was always really fun. We went to the racetrack every weekend. And then when I started racing, you were still a little shit in high school, running around, helping me. And then I built your first dromer for you.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, you and John Edinburgh.
Yeah, so Johnny gave me the parts, and some of the parts.
Yeah.
We used a lot of my street. His first dromer had a lot of street stock parts on it.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
Which made me feel even worse.
Yeah.
Because we wasn't very good.
Well, that's just part of it. It took a while to learn, but we were traveling up and down the road. He learned a lot by traveling with me. I'll say that.
Absolutely.
But what we got it from our father.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And still do.
And I'll say this, like, I was pretty accomplished race car driver. Mm-hmm. You are more accomplished than me because you've done it longer, because I was like, screw this. I was like, screw this. I'm getting out. Too much work, too much headache.
Yeah, it kind of sucked when you got out, though, because it was right at the time that I really wanted to do it full time. You know, I've been racing a long time, but I haven't had a lot of years.
Yeah.
Complete seasons. Like I said, we built that Dromer car. I ran some of Dad's car. I don't think I ever ran your car.
I got my stuff was always tore up.
Yeah. And then we had the death of Lisa. That's when I decided I was going to just quit all the dumb young stuff, and we're gonna go racing. Well, about that time, you backed out. And I enjoyed so much getting in trouble for leaving school, leaving on Wednesday, not coming back till Monday. Mom wanting to know where we're at, wanting to know why I wasn't at school. Yeah. She didn't even realize that I wasn't even home.
There was days where I stopped and picked up Ricky, and he's like, "Where are we going?" I said, "I don't know. I know where we're going tonight. Right. We'll be home when we get home." But I did it so, like, when guys say they raced, in the same way, like when you was talking about you just want to go full time. You know, you raced at the Sportstrom on and off for 3 or 4 years, but it really probably was just one season.
If
and a lot of people didn't understand, because, like, when Louisville closed down, I raced 70, 80 nights a year. So.
And that was going to be my first year, actually. When Louisville shut down, Dad was building us the Dromers. Yeah. And or forward figure eights or whatever they were, bombers. And then I didn't run None.
No,
Because Dad got mad and that Louisville shut down.
Yeah,
and he got rid of the cars that he was building, and he was done racing, and screw it. And Andy Vertree's got a lot of cuss words. And
well, that was me. You know, I started traveling a lot.
But that's when we really started. We went to Bowling Green and Howland Rim, doing the trips, and then dirt down there at what was that, Glasgow.
Yeah. Once I switched over to dirt, we raced all over.
Yeah, we raced a lot.
Yeah, we raced a lot. And looking back on it, I was burnt out to an extent, and then Brandon, Tanya's little brother, came along, and we kind of had to raise a kid.
You saying burn out, like, that's what I tell everybody. I'm like, you all don't understand. Like, we were kids. We were Friday at Louisville, Saturday at Sports Dome, Sunday at Whitesville. Yeah. We went home at 4:30 Monday morning. Yeah. And then we had to go to school, obviously. But, Dad would get speeding tickets. I don't know how many he got going down to Gene Snyder. We hit the telephone pole at the bank. Dad trying to deposit the check that he won at Whitesville, and it cost him a whole car. Joey's head fell out the window.
That's what I was like. Me and you, that was fun.
That was a blast.
Joey, he was poor Joey. He was just like, and for you guys that don't know, Joey's our middle brother. He's my younger brother, and then Ricky's the youngest. Joey, he may be the biggest race fan out of all of us.
I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there on the limb. I think we would have both been in trouble if he would have raced, because the one showing that he did. And let me tell you guys, when I tell you this boy is a video game freak, he can't even change his own tire. I just went and rescued him just the other day. And
he damn near won an Enduro.
He almost won the Enduro, and it's kind of our fault. We're over lollygagging around. I show up late all the time anyways. I'm one of them that...
Oh, hold on a second. He told me 8 o'clock tonight as we're recording this. He was here about 10 minutes early, but in forky fashion, we worked on something in the driveway for 30 minutes. Load the car
so
we still behind.
Yeah, we had to load the car up, but Joey, we got to Whitesville late. It was a little front wheel drive car that we had that
car
we built for Leonard.
Yeah, community car.
Then our little stepsister drove it, and I think she hit everything under the sun in it, and
twice.
Yeah, Charlie tore that thing all to crap. I think, well, actually, I didn't tear it up. Dad did. It got a flat at the Brownstown Enduro. That was actually my first time running a front wheel drive on dirt.
Well, see, I put the cage in that car, and I did all the fixing, but I don't think I ever drove that car not one time.
Well, I think you did the other night that we took it over for Leonard. You practiced it, and then Leonard went out and hit the U-tire.
I got there as Leonard was wrecking.
That's right. Yeah. I got in it.
I never even drove that car.
But at the time, I wasn't even racing.
Yeah. So
I think that's what Dad built that car for, was for all of us to go have fun with. But
Charlie, funny thing about that is Charlie, he
ended back up with that car.
Yeah, it was an impound, and
it was a raggedy old Dodge Neon.
Yeah, but it was a dual overhead. It was a fast Dodge.
It was raggedy.
Oh yeah, no,
I had one on the street. That was pretty raggedy. We got for $60, and I drove it on the street. But I think that one was pretty bad off as well.
But it's funny because the way this interview is going to go is kind of going to go full circle. Like, Charlie got that car. I put a cage in it for everybody to race it. And then it got destroyed, and I fixed it. And Charlie ended back up with the car
and I drove it a couple more times. I won some figure eight races in it, and I almost won Brownstown for the second time.
Yeah.
Well, the first time that I almost won Brownstown, I didn't even think they were going to give it to us. I think they ended up paying Dad for third, but it was the Enduro. I think it was Fun Fest.
Yeah, I think it was Fun Fest.
But it was Saturday night. It was a night. It was. And I think that was actually my first time ever at Brownstown, I believe. I don't think I've ever been there, and Dad got a flat, and we were parked, dude. We was, man, I think we were on the other side of the horse barns, I believe. I don't even know where we were. Well, Leonard ended up grabbing somebody's tire, and I'm like, Leonard, there's no Dodges here, bro. This isn't going to fit. It was a big old tire. Dad, he's like, I'm done. Don't worry about changing. Well, Leonard's done got it jacked up. Well, this thing fit, but you could tell it wasn't for that car because the inner lip of the wheel wouldn't go over the hub, and Leonard's just sitting there hammering that impact on it.
If the lug nuts pull tight, it's good.
Well, the lug nuts were pulling tight, but the wheel was just bowing around it, And Dad said, "Oh, it's not running right anyways." And I said, "Well, give me your fire suit." And Dad looked at me, and I said, "It's a red."
Yeah.
Well, and he's like, "Yeah, we're 4 laps down or 3 laps, whatever it was," and he said, "But I don't care if you wanted hair." So I put Dad's fire suit on, and me and you got that thing together. And then,
especially back then.
Yeah.
Now we're not.
Man, now I could probably fit that thing pretty good now. But, man, I tell you, I put that helmet on, and he had that old Brewster Baker 6-pack snap
The bubble,
on.
snap bubble.
The snap bubble on the open face helmet. And I'm going to tell y'all what, my dad is a big old dude. Anybody that knows us knows my dad's a big dude, and his head is ginormous. We all got big heads, but Dad's got a real big head.
It's all that knowledge up there.
And I put this helmet on, and I'm going through the pits, and I almost hit Tony Stewart's holler. They was there with, who was that?
Steve Barnett.
Steve Barnett.
Yep.
And I literally almost hit his holler, his race cars, and everything because the helmet turned. Because the helmet was so big, and I couldn't see, and there was a lineup of cars because at the time, FunFest had a million cars, Yeah,
people that go to FunFest now don't realize what FunFest was when it first started.
I didn't know what FunFest was. I've never seen that many race cars at a racetrack, I don't think I've ever seen that many cars at a car show, And we go out there, and they said, you got a penalty for pitting on red. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we go take off. Well, I didn't realize that Dad moved a seat in his car for him. Well, I can't reach the pedals. I got the belts all tight, and I can barely touch the gas. So they hold me in the pits for 3 laps, and that was my penalty. I just couldn't go out on the track. So we go green, and dude's like, go. And I'm like, I'm trying. And he's looking at me. So I loosen the belts up, and I slide down the seat. And I tell you, I'm looking under the steering wheel. He had this big old school bus steering wheel on this thing. And we ended up making all 3 laps back up. I've never driven a front-wheel drive on dirt. And keep in mind, I've only had one other dirt race, and that was my first ever race that I ever raced. When I ran Dad's street stock car at Thunder Valley. And
me and Slick raced together one time, and he beat me.
I did beat you. You wrecked.
Yeah, I was winning and put it in the wall, and he was still running at the end.
Hey, I was last, but you didn't lap me.
Yeah, I did not lap you.
There was caution after caution. Right when you get to me, I looked in the mirror, and he was there, and I said, man, I'm never going to hear the end of this. And then, actually, the
funny thing is, the reason why I wrecked is because I was watching you guys race up there, and I just flipped the wall.
We started racing real hard, and it was me, Earl Rowley, who's that dude? Who's the people that used to go with Flash and him? Man, I can't think of who it was, but he used
Butch Bennett, yeah.
But man, we were back there racing it up for last, and I said, I'm not running last. I said, I'm not. And Dad told me, don't worry about this old car. I don't care about it. It was after Salem's already ran the Halloween race. It was actually Leonard and them's car that I took. It was the black and orange one.
Yeah, that's Dad ended up with that car, but yeah, it was that car.
But it was their car because Leonard went with us and didn't know, and Leonard was acting like, "Oh God, we're gonna get in trouble."
I hit the wall on the backstretch because I was watching you guys.
If I'm not, Rick Harper drove that car on the figure 8 over at Sports. That was the figure 8 car, correct? That was the one because we ended up putting a body on it. When Dad went to Salem or whatever.
When we first got that car, that was it. But it had been wrecked and clipped and redone. Yeah,
and then we went to Salem all primer. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then we had to reclip it then too because Dad wrecked right in front of us.
Yeah. That's when I was at Salem that year and I broke a transmission and Dad was in that car and I broke a transmission in practice.
Yeah, because that was Charlie's. Charlie had that
Monte Carlo.
Dude was bad. That car was bad.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing about that,
when Charlie got tired and he come in and he was running. I don't know what the bestest man that ever ran.
He said, I can't do it no more.
I can't do it no more. And he looked at Bobby and he said, "Go." Bobby said, "I'm not jumping in the middle of the race." I said, "I will."
Yeah.
He said, "Go ahead." And he said, my dad's a good fan. I'm so glad that I was wrecked out at that point because he said, "You've never been around this place. You was jumping in. I think there was 100-something cars that day. And I was like, I just wanted to do it, And I've raced a couple races at that point, but I didn't realize what Salem was.
That's when I broke a dry shaft and it broke the transmission and stuff. And I remember Jeff Hubry was sitting there, was pitted next to us. And Hubry was like, "Man, I got everything to fix it." And we had like 20 minutes before the race started. And I said, "Hubry, I done clipped this car 3 times this year.
Yeah, right.
I'm done, okay?" Like, he's like, "Oh, you don't ever give up." I'm like, "Dad's racing this. Me and Ricky's pitting."
Yeah. We don't have nobody. Well, we got Leonard.
Yeah, we had like 3 people at the racetrack with him.
Johnny was there, I believe. Well, yeah.
And him
Johnny,
and Mark.
Yeah.
We had like 3 or 4. And Chris Crawford, the guy. So I was like, man, because Dad loved running Salem. I really didn't. I mean, to me, I'd much rather go and run Glasgow than Salem, you know what I'm saying? So it didn't really bother me that much. And I
don't mean to cut you off. Did you see, or did Tanya show you where, you might even remember it, but I don't remember Dad running Mike's car at Salem. It was a Halloween race. Yes, I just
Well,
saw
yeah, oh, yeah,
Dad finished fourth with a figure eight car. I talked to Dad the other night. The pinkies.
He
and Dad
actually
said
ran.
The funny thing about that was he said I was in Bobby's green car, and he broke a water pump. But I thought that was a totally different deal. But he said he was in your green car. He broke a water pump and backed it in the wall. And Saturday in practice.
Yes.
He called up Mike and went and got the car. He said the car won the last figure eight race at Louisville that day. And I was like, oh, sorry, it's my phone.
It happens all the time.
Again.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
But see, the funny thing about that is, Dad ran
that. He ever ran. And he finished fourth on the lead lap with a figure eight car, with figure eight setup. And he said, I'm telling y'all don't need all that stuff that y'all do. This racing is vans. And I said, Dad, don't get into this again. They did, I'm going to jump up till 2 years ago. They did that, what they call it, the Legends race.
Yeah.
And it was pretty awesome to return the favor for Dad to drive my car. They did it. They did the figure eight race in the Crown Vic figure eight, and they brought back all the old guys. And it was pretty awesome, man. You had the Skaggs and Raymond and Buddy and Hardy, and man, there was a bunch of them, and I know you wasn't there that night, but it's kind of sad, because I want to remember Dad as because everybody tells us stories about Dad, and
our dad was our hero.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of Dad's younger, like Whitesville.
Yeah, because you were way younger.
Whitesville's about what I remember, and I really don't remember Dad driving his own car other than the Flip Nationals Mickey Mouse car that we drew all over. Like at Louisville, that's the only thing that I can really remember until the final year when you were racing with Dad, and I don't remember anything before that. But I remember a lot of Whitesville.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because when Kurt and I started this podcast, it's because one reason why we want to do what's called the old racetrack segment, and we're gonna start. We got some of those coming up. Where we're gonna go.
That song, the old racetrack, man, it brings back a lot of memories. That's an awesome song.
Well, that song's the reason why we're gonna do the.
Right.
I gotta reach out to Jeff Ward to make sure everything's not copyrighted. But I plan on playing it.
Man, that's awesome. I don't know who he is, but man, I tell you what,
he's actually related to the Skaggs.
Well, I know that. I know that. Yeah. Well, I figured that out through everybody sharing it on social media. But I actually heard that song like a long time ago.
Yeah, no, it's been out for like 6 years.
Yeah, I heard it a long time ago, and I thought I sent it to you because me and you send each other, like we hear old racing songs or whatever, we'll send it to you. But
the funny thing about a lot of people don't understand is like people ask me all the time. They'll come in, my work. It's like, how's your brother doing? I said, well, he's doing pretty good. So when's the last time you talked to him? I said, about a month ago. What?
Yeah.
I said, no, we'll send each other text, and I said, and honestly, I don't gotta wait for a phone call, because usually if he's coming over, I know, because somebody's already told me, hey, your brother tore his shit all up.
Right. Yeah, he's saying. But I do come over other than that.
I know. But I'm just saying.
We don't. Our family isn't a real close knit family. We all keep in contact, but we don't.
Yeah, we don't.
We've never been the real close. Now, when we were back racing, that was the fun days to me. When you were racing and I was doing the racing plus the young and dumb stuff, and wow. Man, I had a lot of fun. And I told Tanya that one night when me and her were talking, and I said, man, if Bobby would just give me 1 year, just give me 1 year. And I was talking to Brandon Hooker, the guy that owns my modified figure eight car now, and he said, man, what do you think it would take for your brother to just come help you? If we build him a car or buy him a car, I said, look, I don't think he cares about racing anymore. I said, but man, I would give up my left testicle, dude, if he would just give me 1 year, because I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's because I idolized you growing up, but I wanted, you were a pretty good race car driver, and did it without money, and everybody. Byron Jones he works over at the Diesel Boys Race Car Parts, and he told me just today. I was sitting there and I was waiting for Brandon to get back. I'm standing on my helmet, and he says, man, I was a big fan of your dad's back in the day. And I said, well, tell me why. You know what I mean? Because I don't, there's so many people that tell us, man, your dad was a bad dude back in the day, and you see old clippings. And I was teammates with Buddy Virtues a couple years ago when I drove for Murray Baird, and I really didn't know Buddy, but Buddy was one of my favorite drivers, and you know that.
Yeah.
You were a Chris Harmon.
Yeah.
Joey was a Raymond Johnson. Yeah. And Joey really went for...
He went to hang out with us and eat Skittles.
Yeah, but Joey always cheered for the dude in the back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like who's that guy that hangs out with Dad? Quentin Cummings.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Joey rooting this dude on.
Well, it's
and
because
Quentin won races. And
well, that's
Quentin
because he had a Batman logo on his hood.
Yeah, right. But Joey's always been that way. Like, when we go to the racetrack now, when we went to the racetrack a couple weeks ago, well, we took Dad last year on his birthday. We all went up and watched a big dirt race up there. And Joey picked just a dude that like, I don't even think he ran a heat race. Like, I didn't even remember seeing his car.
Yeah, no, he's an underdog for sure.
But, that's fun about it. But, Buddy, I idolized Buddy, and Buddy would tell me so many stories about Dad. He said Dad pulled up to him. I'll never forget this. And I asked Dad, and Dad, he don't remember. Dad's just as goofy as us. He has a heck of a sense of humor, dude. And he said that they were sitting there in a lineup, and it was for a big race. And he said, and him and Dad was starting on the front row together. And he said, your dad looks over at me and says, Buddy. And I can see Dad doing this. Buddy said, yeah. And Buddy, I don't know if you've ever seen Buddy in a car. Buddy's so focused, he don't talk to nobody. He gets in that zone. Yeah. Buddy's, when he's racing, he's in a race zone. Yeah. He said he didn't want to draw attention to Dad because he said he didn't even know what he wanted. But he said he kept hearing him, and he's like, maybe there's something wrong with my car. He said, so I look over at him, and your dad literally, as we're pulling off, we're staring at each other, and he reaches down, he grabs his brake pedal, and holds it up to me and goes, oh, well. Yeah. He said, and I'm going to tell you right now, he said, that got in my head so bad. He said, your dad carried that brake pedal in that car. He made me think that was his brake pedal, that it broke off in the lineup chute, and they wave us on the track. And he says, we're scribing tires. He said, I pull up to the track officials and tell him, hey, Puckett brake pedals broke off. He showed it to me.
He ain't got no damn brakes.
And he said he went out there and kicked our ass. He said, because I didn't want to pass him. He said, I just knew just any second somebody crossed the intersection in front of him. He said he was hitting him because he didn't have no brakes. And he said, I was so impressed with your dad that night. And he said, I walked up to him and said, Dale, how did you run that whole race with no brakes? He said, I had brakes. I just had an extra pedal right here.
But
that's pretty cool, though.
So the funny thing is, because you were so young, you're 4 years younger than me. And I was at the races. I remember all that because I tell people all the time this, and they think I'm BSing
well,
with them.
If you remember, though, I didn't go to a lot of races. Like when I was real young, I just went to what I had to. Because...
Yeah, you was doing too much other stuff.
Well, I was mad at Dad for no reason. Just being young. I was young. I didn't know the relationship deal. I just knew the dad wasn't there. And it wasn't that he wasn't there. No. He just wasn't at home. Yeah. And he come and got us anytime. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think every time I got in trouble, I gave him Dad's name. Dad would leave work because he was even closer to Mom. Mom was working on Blankenbaker, and Dad would come to the school, sign me out, and be like, "You're gonna deal with your mom. I gotta go back to work."
That's the thing with Dad. Like
don't get me wrong. When I say he wasn't there, Dad was definitely. He's always been there. Yeah. But I went through a stage where.
Well. I
was mad at Dad because he wasn't with Mom, and I didn't know and I didn't understand. So I didn't go to a lot of races.
Yeah. And it kind of worked out best for us because we ended up with two dads that way.
Oh yeah, we got a stepdad that's awesome. That's out of this world.
I tell people
but at the time we didn't. We gave him. Man, I can't believe he stayed around.
I'm gonna be honest. I was a lot nicer to him than you was.
No, absolutely. But we become, over the years we become really close, and it's weird because my son, my firstborn son, is what did it, and he didn't even come to the hospital, because I was such a.
Well, yeah, you was a little prick.
Yeah,
and I'll say this, and Ricky knows, because there's some siblings that they take up for their little brother, and I've got his back through and through. But I'm also the first one that tells him, "Hey, you screwed up, and you screwed up bad." And anything. I mean, not just in racing, in life.
I've made a lot of dumb decisions, and I lived a life outside of racing, dude, that I'm not proud of. But you've always been the one to just be like, how long are you gonna go down this road? And
that's why I told people before.
And even when I was a user, and you even let me live with you when I had the death with my ex and. You never really judged me, but you definitely rode me. But which I'm thankful for.
Because I knew deep down you was a good kid. Oh, good kids make dumb mistakes, and it's kind of funny now because now you're
I'm living it. I'm reliving it with my oldest.
I'm saying, and now with your oldest son, he's making sure that
I remember everything that I did. Absolutely.
For every headache that I had, and my mom's had, and my dad's had, he's making sure you have 4 times. So
and that's another thing. Going back to that, where we say we weren't a close family, we really are. I mean, we look out for one another. I would kill somebody over you. In a heartbeat. But you all never. I see a lot of people that go down the path that I went, and you never did that. Joey never did that.
No.
I don't know why I did. I really don't. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I experienced what I did experience because I'm going through it now with my oldest son.
And you can fix it. And,
Well, I can relate to him.
Yeah.
You know, and so he's a great kid.
No,
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome kid. Funny dude. He needs to be a comedian. I mean,
Yeah.
the dude is funny as all get out. You know, but I can relate. I understand. And with you all, y'all never really even talked to me about it, really.
No.
Y'all were just, y'all would know.
Yeah,
You know,
well, I would know.
Mom would be like, hey, how long we going to do this? You know,
Yeah.
like, but she never.
Well, that's what
and
I
I see so many people out here in the world, man, that their family just gives up on them. You
Yeah.
know, and I am still friends with a few, people that use drugs or drink
Yeah.
alcohol heavy or whatever, and they don't have nobody.
Yeah, well, see, that's what.
But I never had that, and I think that was I was never addicted. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I did it because I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I did it because they say it's bad. I was that guy that, if you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it.
Well, see, one time.
I used to be.
That's what I tell people all the time. Like, because I coached basketball and I was dealing with different kids, and I said I've been down this road with my little brother. I said, and I think I handled that about as best as you can.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
There's a couple times I snatched you up, said, "Hey, dumbass."
Oh, yeah, we got in a fight one time there on the training course.
I've choked you out.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
But it wasn't nothing like where
Where we were never going to talk again.
no, I think,
But
like even that night,
even at
that,
the end of the day, I appreciated that. Even though I didn't want to hear it.
yeah, but
So
nobody wants to hear that. And
No,
and there's
no.
times that I've probably said I was probably a little too hard on you on certain things.
no, you were,
But-
but
But being too hard is a lot better than not being hard enough. So I try.
Being hard
Yeah.
on me is better than being absent.
Yeah.
And going back to the racing thing, I was doing all that all together, and I obviously we said the death, the death took
Yeah.
the toll on me, and it changed me as a person, good and bad. It made me open up that we don't know when tomorrow is, and at the end of the day, it made me want to quit that. And then I got with Ashley and started racing a lot. I ended up driving for her dad, and that was pretty fun. I didn't even know I was going to race a dirt track until you told me, and I was about 25 miles away.
Yeah, I took Ricky on his first.
Well, that was my second dirt track
Yeah,
because I drove Dad's car that one time at Thunder Valley, and then
I kind of almost set him up a racing deal on accident.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, on accident, and good God, because he didn't have his license at the time. Then I realized I had to drive him to Western Kentucky 5 weeks in a row. I said,
down in Nebo, Kentucky.
I said, bro, we're going to build you a race car for the sports dome.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. You remember, you said we're going to go back to the sports dome.
Yeah.
That was when, because I had lost my license.
Yeah.
Remember, over the ticket or whatever. But
that's what I
her
said.
dad come and watched me. Remember,
Yeah.
that was when we built that first figure 8 car.
Yeah.
I had that lime green, real good looking car. The one wraps just come out. We had who was that wrapped that? Custom Graphics up there, and you went to school with him, and he wrapped it for nothing.
Yeah.
I think he charged me $200. Josh, yeah. And real good looking car, man. And her dad, man, I remember I blew up so many motors, man. And I didn't know. I was like, Dad, why are we running these? Build me a street stock.
Yeah.
There's no way they're blowing. I don't see these people blowing motors up.
Yeah.
I don't know what we did. I don't know if Dad, because Dad's a big gear guy. He likes gear in race cars. He don't like to use the brake pedal.
Well, yeah, that's
and I think he was setting me up for failure because it wasn't on his money, And Ashley didn't like racing. Well, it's not that she didn't like it. She just didn't like the fact that it just took up everything. And her dad, loved it. I bet her and her dad were.
Let's be honest. Did she like anything?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie though. She was. After Micah was born and we weren't even together, remember, she was bringing him to the track. And she still did all the way up till Micah moved in with me, a couple months back. But man, driving that dirt car was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. And I remember I kept calling you. And man, I couldn't get a win, but I was there. I was leading, and we broke an axle and we turned over, and her dad was like, "Don't worry, he's old man. I tell you what, that dude Noble, he was one of the best people you'll ever meet." We could go on for days with stories about racing, but that was the actual turning point of me racing. That's when I wanted to run full time, you know, and because I got to run for him, and we almost won the championship, and we actually started 3 weeks late, and it was a car that
it needed some work.
It was a piece.
Yeah, it needed some work. Yeah. Well,
now, the second car I got from him, it was that was a dirt modified in a Camaro chassis.
Well,
a Camaro body with dirt modified chassis. That was a bad dude, and that right there is what made me want to go. And then I'm like, man, maybe this is what Bobby. You know, dirt racing was fun.
Yeah.
But man, I tell you what, down in Western Kentucky, they had some of the most competitive cruiser races.
Yeah,
like
cruiser, street stocks.
What modified, whatever you want to call them. Like I call them outlaws.
Yeah.
You know, he's still to this day. You know, our buddy Jeff Macy. You know, he runs, and he's like, man, that's just. You know, he comes up 3 hour and helps us, and he's like, man, this is the same stuff I got. Yeah. And actually, he got a transmission from me, and I'm like, y'all run these in cruisers?
Yeah, that's it. For $200. Yeah.
Olds 350 Rocket, dude, with an Oldsmobile metric transmission. And I'm like, it's crazy how far racing has came, but it's fun to me because I don't like racing dirt anymore. I'm not a big dirt racer.
Yeah, no, and I don't understand why, because...
I'm good.
Well, I'll tell you this. When we talk about racing without a whole lot of money, like, Dad taught me, because... You know, you didn't go to the races that much.
Right.
So Dad taught me everything about a car. He taught me how to build a car, how to construct a car, how to set a car up.
Right.
What works, what doesn't work. So I'll say this because I don't have no ego. I won a lot of races. I mean, I won 54 features in 1 year.
Right.
But I won it because of just the work, and like I was good in traffic. I learned the building, the fabricating from Dad. You got the driving talent from Dad, because you can get in and drive anything.
I like driving anything.
Yeah,
I do.
I mean, you can drive junk, you can drive good, you can drive anything. Like, and that's the way Dad was. Dad could drive anything.
That's what everybody says,
Yeah,
and that's what I wish I could. I wish, like, so with me racing so many years now, and I go back, I don't have many pictures. You know, and I thought about this the other
me
day.
neither. That's
like,
funny. We're sitting here. I got like 5 pictures on my race car.
Literally, there's 6. Well, they're not even all yours.
Yeah.
That one's Dad's. But
but those are my race cars for all the years. I won all these races. And I don't have shit.
Right. Yeah, and you know,
it's different now. Kids
like
now.
Tanya takes pictures.
Kids now.
Which, don't get me wrong, Brittany, you know, my fiance, she records every lap that I. Don't get me wrong.
I get to watch you every week.
I'm not gonna miss a lap of my racing. You know, I'm not. But I really wish I would have grew up sooner and become more mature and took in the times that when we traveled racing in Glasgow, when I burned my arm, dude, and you ran the car, I don't know, it was 300 something degrees. The car was scalding hot, and we had a little conflict with the dude the week before, and dude, he put a whooping on us the week before, and you were determined to blow his car up so he wouldn't get around. Well, he ended up getting around you because the car just was losing power. And I said, Bobby said, we're done. I said, no, we're not. I said, Dad did this to my demo car, because I ran that demo derby, and I watched Dad throw all of his Diet Mountain Dews out, and he poured that thing down, and all that water down the top of the engine. So that's
the night I lapped the field.
Yeah. And well, I didn't even get to watch the race. I was over in the ambulance, and they was wrapping my arm all up. I felt like I was just peeling skin off, and everybody said, don't do it. Bobby's like, Ricky, just load it up. I said, you just get out of the way. And I remember I grabbed a fire suit or something, but it didn't help, dude. This thing had pressure. And then later in years, and, you know, Murray being R, he's like, as long as I had pressure, y'all were good. You know, but I didn't understand. I thought we were just, but I just wasn't going to let Garnett, and don't get me wrong, Garnett didn't.
I know, Garnett's a cool dude.
Dude's awesome. Like, every time I see him, he's been one of the most respectful racers. I mean, even, where do we see him?
We had a couple issues at the racetrack, but we fixed it. I mean,
he was a racer that did it
same way we did,
out of love, you know, and he didn't have any money, and man was good, you know. And it's like Flash was awesome.
I tell people that all the time. A lot of people don't understand. I said, you know, when people talk, they start talking
about
the
years that I remember very, you know, them were the years that got me interested. You know, the Chris Harmon and Raymond feud, and then on the oval you had the emo Flash.
Yeah, Kurt Nemo. So
the Kurt Nemo show. That's what it was. Yeah,
I tell people this all the time, and when we go interview people, you know, people don't understand that we're actually racers. Like, I tell people this, and they kind of look at me like, because a lot of people bullshit.
I don't know how you walked away. Well, like really.
Well, here's the thing.
And the reason I say that is, you come to the Sports Dome on my birthday, Y'all usually try to come, you know.
At least once or twice a year.
Well, there's usually a big race around my birthday, you know, 3rd or 4th week of April. And it's usually our 100 lap or the Keep Cool race or something. And you come over to the track, and I was running Dennis Lynn's car, and we won the week before. Yeah. And I said, Bobby, I put 4 brand new tires on this. I can't remember. I was driving Corey Harmon's car, but.
Yeah, you made me go out and break the tires in for you.
Well, because we were all back there arguing, and I'm like, look, I got brand new tires on this thing. We're running features only tonight because we got a 100 lapper here. And I said, why don't you just take it out and just. Corey can't fit in it. Yeah. You know, because Corey was real big at the time. Yeah. I said, Corey can't fit in it. Yeah, it was true.
Still real big.
But so my car owner, he did all work. He wanted to race, you know, and he's been around racing, and his family's involved in it and everything. And he said, it's not for me. You know, he said I got lapped every 4 laps, you know, and he said it just wasn't for me.
Well, a lot of people can do it from the stands.
But I tell you, driving on the street, dude, scares me to death. And I'm like, dude, if you just drive like you do through New Albany, you'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Well, the funny thing about that is that night when you had me go out there and I ran 3,000 laps.
You ran a lot of laps.
Yeah.
And I said, man, they're going to black flag him and get him off. And we're sitting there and we're just loving it, dude. And I don't know why I didn't practice it, because I done got out of the modified car. I'm up at the fence, and me and Royce is over like, you got qualified. I said, I don't care. I'm enjoying this. I said, you know how long it's been since I watched my brother drive a race car, and you were out there punting people out of the way. You would think you was running for $1 million, and this was old Crown Vic. And you were totally against the Crown Vics. When the Crown Vic started, you were. So to even get you in it.
And it was fun.
And I don't think you wanted to get in it. I really don't.
No, I didn't. Because
but I had no choice. I had to have the tire scuffed. And I knew I was starting dead last because I won the oval and figure 8 the week before.
Well, I actually came in. You guys moved the front to the back and the back to the front.
Well, I had to. You had it sideways all the time. And it was so much fun to me. And I looked at Tanya and I said, Tanya, talk him into running it tonight. I said, I got to start on tail anyway. You know, so it wasn't like we were losing our starting position. And Bobby said, I'm not driving this thing. You won in it last week. I'm not starting dead last.
He started on the damn tail. I know how it works.
It's been 8 years since I've been in the car. He said, I'm not doing that. He said, because I already catch a lot of flack from you already, and everybody's comparing us. He said, I'm not getting in this car where you just spank the field in the oval and figure 8. Well, I said, well, you done pissed the field off. I said, I don't want to race it either. I said, we should just load it up because you spun 7 people out here in practice.
Well, here's what's really funny is.
But you had a smile on your face when you come in, and Tanya was like, dang. You know, and then I think she was on you for a while to get you a car after that. And I even offered to share a car with you, you know, because I think that would be awesome. Because, like I said, we literally raced together one time.
Yeah, I raced with Dad. I raced against Dad more than you raced. We raced together. Yeah, you know.
Dad's actually cost me 5 Enduros, you know. And I always tell him, man, you know, when Dad's health went down, we were all joking. And I said, Dad, what is it going to take? I got to buy you a vacation, something for you not to go to Fun Fest. And he said, why is that? I said, Dad, I've been the leader the last 4 years with under 20 to go, and you have wrecked me out. I said, it's got to be on purpose.
He's just smiling.
He said, just racing hard.
Just racing, yeah.
He said, them old Enduros, you don't know who's around. I said, Dad, listen, I watched you race many laps, and when you want to wreck somebody, you wreck them. And he even did your father-in-law. Yeah. You know, I said, this ain't going to be good.
Nah, and Dad
just said, no, we just got together. You know, Dad was just so nonchalant, never mad. You were running Dad's Ford some, the figure 8 car.
Well, the thing is, once we started raising Brandon and I started coaching basketball and stuff, it was just, you know, I love, like, I tell people this all the time. I'm the biggest race fan there is.
I am too,
but I can go to the racetrack and it not bother me that I'm not like. See, I can't. It doesn't bother me. But also the same thing.
This sounds bad, but we went to Highland Rim a couple weeks ago for Caden. You know, we got rained out. We were supposed to race that night too, but Brandon rented Caden Bandolero. And man, it was awesome. He did a hell of a job, dude. You know, I mean, it amazes me every time that boy gets in a car. But it bothered me. I said, man, I'm ready to kick this little dude out of here. I'm ready to get in this thing. You know what I mean? I'm ready to get in this go-kart. But
it's the crazy thing.
It eats me up, but at the end of the day, I'm still content. I can go help Corey. I can go to Indy and not take my outlaw. It doesn't bother me. But when I leave, it bothers me. When the green starts, it bothers me.
Well, see, my thing is, though, because, like, still today, I got a race car. You picked a car up that I worked on. Right. I got another one in my garage.
You got another one coming.
I got another one.
I got the motor out here today. I'm bringing it as soon as you come back.
I got like 4 cars to do. I work on them so much. I miss the driving, but I don't miss the work. And
then why do you work on them the way you do? You don't need the money. It's not like you need the money, so
I know, but
why wouldn't you do it for yourself is what I don't understand.
Well, because it just pays for vacations and stuff. No, we don't take any.
So were your wins.
I'm old. I probably can't win like I used to.
Well, I tell you what, man. Brittany started throwing my trophies away. And I've won a lot of races over the years. We'll start back to when I really got recognized, really, because I was just Dale Puckett's son for a long time.
Hell, I won 54 races in a year, and I was still Dale Puckett's son. So
right.
That's just what it is.
2010, I believe, 2010, when I drove for Butch. I was out of high school a couple of years, so I think it was 2010. Butch Winters, we got hooked up with him, and he built me this badass Dromer car. This car was nice, and
yeah, I know how to fix it.
yeah, I tore it up the Sports Drome paved a racetrack that year, and we didn't get any practices, and I got this badass race car, and I just can't wait to open it up. And I've never ran figure eight, really.
Yeah.
And Butch was like, I'm no oval guy. You're going to drive my car. We're running figure eight. He said, you can run the oval, hit and miss or whatever. We can do the Anderson thing, but we're doing figure eight. Yeah. And I'm like, all right. I've always wanted to run figure eight anyways. So we go over to the track, and, man, when I tell you out the box, we were bad fast. We had everybody coming up to us, and Raymond was driving for Bobby Corbin at the time. And, me and Huber had some issues in the front-wheel drives, hitting and missing. Well, we ended up wrecking with them. It was just back then tire dope was the thing. And Butch, he had a chemistry at the top of his garage. I'm telling you right now, he wouldn't do them, but he said, whatever you want to mix up, it's up there, and I didn't know anything about it, so I had Corey come out there with. We found this bubblegum stuff, and I bet you Butch still has some today, because he had so much. I don't even know where he got this stuff at. Dude, he had drums of it. And, I raced with Butch a couple years ago, and I said, man, I smell bubble gum. He said, get away from me. I said, you still got some of that? But, man, we were bad fast, and we were destroying track record. And we bought like 7 or 8 sets of tires. And Butch said, man, go scuff that last set, because we had to get them scuffed. So whenever we were going to run them, we could dope them. Well, I ended up wrecking in the intersection. It's almost dark, and I still to this day, I don't know if it was on purpose. I heard it was. I don't think he meant to hit me the way he hit me. I think he messed up, but I was told Huber was supposed to hit me. Huber denies it the whole time. Still to this day, we laugh about it. Bobby Corbin says he would never do it on purpose, but that's still to this day, that's the hardest figure eight wreck I've been in. And it was my very first one.
Got your bell rung.
And this was on a Wednesday night. This is my first full committed year. I'm going in. Me and Josh Logston shared that car and had a lot of fun. And I thank Josh for doing that with me. And the last figure eight race I had, I wrecked Josh's car in the intersection with Jeff Huber.
Yeah, that's just part of it.
Well, me and Josh had a lot of fun, and man, that hurt. That was a hit, and they was all on, was it Facebook or MySpace? Drome Dirt.
Drome Dirt, yeah.
And, man, they were running their mouth. And Butch was all about that. Butch was he never says anything. You don't even know he's got social media unless you type his name in. But he knows everything that's posted, said.
That's kind of like my social media stuff. Yeah. Now people know I got it because I'm doing this show.
Yeah, right. Well, so I went to the hospital, and I remember Dad coming to the Drome with the rollback.
Yeah.
And when he got there, I honestly thought they had to cut the car up because I just remember him being inside of me.
Well, they probably should have cut the car up. It would have been easier for me to fix.
Well, let's make a long story short, that I go to the hospital and they keep me overnight because my foot was turned completely sideways and had the throttle hung wide open. And good thing it didn't knock me out because I was able to hit that kill switch, and I stopped right before the dumpster. Well, Butch, keeps in contact all night. Well, Bobby actually goes to Butch's. Why? I guess.
I was in Pikeville when all this happened. But Dad called me and said.
Did Dad go help him tear? I thought you went out there and tore it apart on Wednesday.
No, I took it apart. Yeah, Dad called me and said he was taking the car to Butch's.
And this is 9:30 because it was getting dark.
Yeah, I got to Butch's probably 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was getting dark when we wrecked. I know when I got in the ambulance, when they got me out of the car, that it was dark. And I don't know how long it took. It seemed like eternity because my leg was twisted. And I remember Butch saying, y'all's not cutting, because they had fire department. I remember, man, and I'm alert the whole time, but I'm hurting. My foot is literally completely sideways. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to be able to walk again. I don't know if I'm broke. I just know I'm in a lot of pain. Well, I look over, and the crossbar, the unhart bar, whatever they all call it.
The petty bar.
It's knocked out of this car. Yeah. It's down in the floorboard. Because I didn't want to look at my foot. I was getting ready to pass out every time I looked down there because it's got me pulled out of my seat anyways because it literally tried to stretch me because I'm bolted in and the bar wrapped around my leg. And when I tell y'all, I swear to this day, I think his bumper hit my helmet. He was inside of that car. I don't know how you hit somebody so square
Well,
between the wheels.
The funny thing about that whole thing is, so when I get out there, I tell Butch, I said, I'm going to cut this stuff out, and I welded a couple bars in and hold it.
I thought y'all were coming to cut it up so I couldn't race anymore. No. The last time I talked to Butch says, we're done. Your dad and brother's on the way to the house. And I'm like, what about the new car? Because, we started building a new one, and it wasn't far off. We could have pulled the motor, really, and put the seat in it and been racing. Yeah. We were that close. And he's like, no, we're done. You just got... And at the time, I still don't know anything. They done x-rayed me, and... and they just keep coming in and they're checking on me and I've never been in a hospital like that. There's stuff going off and I'm like, man, what's going on? And I just remembered my whole right side just being sore. And they released me at like 3 or 4. Mom come to the hospital and Mom said, so I guess you're going out there and help them fix the car? And I'm like, fix what car? And Mom's like, your brother and your dad, they didn't work today. They're fixing that car. I said, Mom, it's Thursday. Opening night is, because we were supposed to be there on Friday. Yeah, but they ended up canceling that. Yeah. But we literally had 1 day to fix this car, and originally. And actually, at the time, Dad said, I don't care if I got to change the seat. If you can't drive it, if Bobby don't want to drive it, we're driving this car. Because, they were all on their own dirt, and that right there. And that's the fun days to me. Yeah. Even though that was like...
Shit, it wasn't me. I put half a car together in a night and a half.
Yeah, and I didn't even get to see none of it. I was living with Corey Harmon at the time.
Well, the funny thing is about that whole thing is, so I told Butch, I said, all right, Butch had a couple pieces of tubing there. I brought my tubing bender out, and I tacked some stuff up, and I started cutting right down the middle of the car, and he was like, I don't know if you need to do that. I said...
I'm kind of glad y'all did, though. I'm kind of glad that I never seen that car.
Yeah.
On the outside, because like I said, we didn't take no pictures. We didn't have nothing.
Well, here's
in the racetrack at the time, I don't even think they were taking pictures at practice.
Well, so the thing about the whole thing was
they said there was a video of it, but I never got to see it.
I told him, I said, this is what it's going to take to fix it. I'm going to fix the car. Give me this, this, and this. I said, I will be back here about 9 in the morning. I said, because I know you got to go get the material, but get this stuff here. I said, by 5 o'clock tomorrow, by the time you get in from work, this thing will be done. And he said, there ain't...
That's not a beer.
No, Ricky, he's drinking a Monster.
Yeah, I've been tired, but I've been working all week.
Yeah, and like I was talking about earlier about growing up. He worked a whole week, so he is growing up.
I've worked a whole couple months.
This is something funny, though. But we'll get back to that real quick. I told Butch, I said, this is what we need, and I'll have this all done tomorrow before you get off work. And he goes, man, there is no way you can get this car done tomorrow before you get off work. This right here is not bad.
I just remember what I seen inside the car. I didn't even see the car outside. But I do know that they said Dad had to bring a roll back to get it.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
We didn't have cell phones, I don't think, then. Yeah. I think you did for work.
No,
you had a work phone, but I don't think I had a personal phone.
Yeah.
So I'm calling from the hospital, and I'm trying to, how bad is it? And Butch was like, we're done. We're done.
Yeah, it was bad.
I was ready to be done. I'm not gonna lie. Figure eight. That's when I realized figure eight wasn't for me.
Yeah,
and I said,
I don't want to do this shit.
I said, man, if every day was getting worse, and the doctor said, well, nothing's broke, but you're not racing. We're gonna cast you. And I'm like, well, if it's not broke, why are you casting me? I'm an idiot.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And he's like, we need to break it. And I said, listen, buddy. I said, I've made it 18 years of my life without a broken bone that I know of. Maybe a knuckle or something. My first bone isn't going to be from you. Yeah. So if I made it through that wreck and it didn't break it, we're going to ride it out, bud. Whatever we got to do.
We're going to see what it takes.
And then you told me that you would run it. And I didn't even see the car. I get to the racetrack, and y'all are like, you'll be fine. I said, man, they said I couldn't run. And you're like, look, I'll bring my suit, but you're going to run it.
Yeah.
If you're there, you're going to run it. And I remember I was on crutches, and because they hadn't casted it. They just did the brace at the time. I was
air cast.
Yeah, I was, the air cast with a lot of ace bandages. And excuse me. So I was supposed to go Monday to get casted. I come walking up to the gate to get in. And you were coming off the track in practice in the car. And they said, man, your brother's fastest out there. He's rolling. I said, heck yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. And Bobby Corbin's wife, Miss Corbin, was in front of me. And she looked at me, she said, oh my God, are you okay? She was like, did that happen the other night? And I'm like, she playing stupid. You know what I mean? I know they ain't been home. Yeah. You know, they're out here racing too, you know? And she was like, well, I heard your brother was in the car. And I'm like, he is, right now?
Yeah.
Mike Gibson walks up and he says, so your brother's running tonight, right? And I was like, well, no, I'm going to try. And he said, no, you're not. He said, my insurance isn't going to pay for this if you drive. And I said, well, what do they got to pay for? He said, well, don't you have to go get casted Monday? And I was like, yeah. He's like, we're not paying for that. And I was like, well, I won't go get casted then, you know? And especially when they said you were fast. You know, I was ready to get back in this thing. And then I got real nervous, man. And I don't think we ran very good.
No.
I don't think I did because
you didn't like the intersection.
Yeah, I knew we finished, and I knew we were. But man, it hurt. Yeah. I remember to this day, I've never driven hurt like that. That hurt, and I still didn't want to run and figure it. Like I really didn't because it hurt. You know, and I'm young and I'm hurt. I don't want to do it. And then I'm over here and I'm like, how does Chris Harmon and Raymond Johnson run over each other like this? And this is every week. You know, my crash was mild to some of theirs, you know, and I'm like, what's the enjoyment of this? You and Dad took 3 days off work. You know, y'all fixed the car. But that right there is what really got me. All right, so I'm committed now. We're going to go for it. Butch opened the door for opportunity for me, and it's been pretty much wide open since. I've been very fortunate the last couple years to get some car owners and help, but man, I did it broke too. Yeah. And I was a field filler a long time, and I still am in the outlaw sometimes, you know, and I'm okay with that.
Well,
you know.
Well, when you say field filler, listen, it's not.
Man, we sucking that thing, dude. Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I tell you right now, I'm proud of where we've came, but man, it's still we're.
Well, it's kind of like
we're good on the speed charts. You look at the speed chart, you know, 3-hour weekend, we get unlimited practice. Yeah. We're usually top 5. Qualifying, I've never been able to qualify. I still can't qualify. 2 weeks ago, we went and raced. Dude, I was fastest on speed charts. Go qualify 12. I had to run a last chance race. Been fastest for 2 days. You know, we got a whole family invested. Got campers down here. We've been camping out. Been here 2 weekends in a row. And I qualified 12th.
Well, here's the thing, and a lot of people don't understand this, but like when I was racing, and especially like when you started racing, you know, I know we did it broke. But I had guys like Terry O'More, Del Baum, that they took care of me because of our dad, and you know I didn't have the best equipment as far as money wise, but there was not a set of shocks on the market that they didn't give me to practice. And your first cars, it wasn't high dollar stuff, but you had really good stuff.
I had good stuff.
Yeah, you had good stuff. But
I didn't know how to work on it.
Yeah.
I didn't. Well, I mean, I could change the parts.
Yeah.
You know, I've always worked on cars. You know, I think I even done more than you, really, mechanic wise. I've done way more than you on the mechanical side of it.
Yeah, because I hate messing
even
with
street cars. You know, I went on and made a career out of it. Yeah. You know, that's what I did for everyday money. You know, I worked at Oxmoor Toyota. I was going to school and.
Well, that's what I tell people, because people come up to me and talk about our dad racing, and I tell people all this all the time. I said, Ricky is closer to my dad's driving ability. Because
people say that a lot.
Yeah, like Dad won everything. It didn't matter what it was, he'd win it. And you're the same way. Like, you know, when I say you're the most winningest driver in Sportstrom in the last 4 or 5 years, I don't know what the record books say, but I know that if they run 6 features a night and you win 2 every night, you won more than everybody else there. So
I race a lot more, you know, and that's another thing. I'm not out here just setting the world on fire. I race 4 features a night.
Yeah,
that's running 4 weeks. That's a month of racing.
Yeah,
you know, that's what I tell everybody. I got a lot of years racing, but my early years it was hit and miss, 4 or 5 races. But my last 6 years.
Yeah,
I've ran 25 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You count up the features and the heats that I'm running because I'm literally been running every division.
Yeah.
Which I need. You know, I can't go to a racetrack and have downtime.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like out here everyday life. I get in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go out here and I don't have nothing to do. I get in trouble. I do, and not just breaking the law,
Yeah.
but like with my old lady, or I'm at the casino, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just I got ADHD. And I got to keep going. You know.
Well, speaking of keep going, we're almost an hour into this,
Yeah.
and we're not gonna. I mean, I'm not gonna cut you off. We're gonna talk as long as we want. But how much longer are you gonna do this? I know you got one kid that's ate up with it, and you got another kid that's really, really wanting to do it. So, how much long? Because, you know, speaking of Dad kind of overstayed his, you know, his peakness.
I don't ever want to do that.
That's what I was going to get at, because, you know, people look back now and they talk about our dad. And our dad was one of the best wheelmen in this area.
I wish like I said, I know I said it before. I just wish there was video. I wish that, you know.
And when he still came back, he'd still win a big race here or there. But so how much longer are you going to do this?
I'm scaling back this year. This year I'm scaling back. I'm not going to run a Ford at the Drome. I'm going to let the kids run them. Like you said, Caden's been racing 8 years, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like longer than that, but yeah.
8 years. I shared a Crown Vic with him last year. That was a lot of fun. I guess if I was like that, I don't see how y'all did it, because that boy.
Well, you was like that.
I tell you what, the boy don't care to tear up stuff. That's for sure. But, you know, and I'm okay with that, because, you know, he's going to spin out. Every night he's going to spin out. And I'm okay with that. You know, and I've heard a lot of people, you know, or people telling me, people said this, well, he spins every week.
Okay.
Well, he's trying. And that means he's not settling for the same speed, and he's trying to find it. And the boy's talented. Like, I really think the boy's going to be better than any of us ever thought about. I mean, he's already got more championships than us.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gotten 5. You know, well, I got him beat, but I mean, he's close.
Well, I don't, because I never ran for a championship anywhere.
And I'm going to tell you right now, if Brittany started throwing my trophies away, and I said, look, you got to stop. I said, these things don't come like they used to, you know. I don't ever know when my next one's going to be, you know, and at any day it could be over. And I'm okay with that. If racing ends today, I'm okay. Yeah. I really want a 3-hour, you know, but that's the only way that's ever going to happen, dude, is if I just 100% commit and I have somebody like Brandon. Yeah. But I can't get him interested in the Outlaws, man. Well, but it's too. I get it.
It's expensive,
you know.
And honestly,
figure 8 racing's expensive. Well, yes, I drive a figure 8 car for Brandon at the sports show. That's not Indy. Yeah. It's a totally different ball game. And you know, people say it's just figure 8. No. That's when I did it that first time, dude. I come in, and I had the whole front end tore off. Yeah, and I had a smile, dude, ear to ear. And you looked at me and you said, "What the hell are you so happy about?" I said, "Dude, you got to do this shit one time." And I didn't have a care in the world, dude. And I remember Jeff Hoover. Me and him was fighting at the sports show, dude, 2 weeks before, and he comes sliding across the hood like Bo Duke. Yeah. And Mom said, "Isn't that who you kicked out the drum with right there?" You know, but you know, them days was awesome. But I really wish that I could be competitive in the Outlaw, but I don't see it happening. You know, Murray gave me an opportunity. And, you know, that really opened the door for everything that I have today, really. Yeah. Murray, I know we're skipping back and forth.
No, we jump around on this.
Yeah, but, you know, I got to get this out there, you know, because Murray's been great to me. Yeah. He's been great to everybody in the local area.
Let me slide in on that. Guys like Murray and Chris Harmon at Kentucky Clutch. Right. You know, and Murray at B&R, and even going back to Del Baum and Brian Baum, and there's so many guys, even Frank Kimmel to an extent. Yeah. There's so many guys in this area that help younger kids, that help me, that helped you. I say Murray, we're the same age. We went to school together.
Yeah, but Murray's only 2 years older than me, or 3 years, or whatever it is. But you know, he's a hell of a lot more mature and got a lot more going on. He's way more advanced than I was. I tell you right now. Well, he's smarter already. He was an owner, not a driver. He said the driving thing wasn't for him.
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys that step up and help out. And what's funny, we'll go full circle here. You know, I come and watch Caden race the go-karts, and I tell people this all the time. I kind of knew you was growing up about 3 years ago. And this is a funny story, but it is. I knew you was growing up about 3 years ago because the kids are throwing football in the middle of the runway, in the middle of the drive lane. Me up. and they're coming, and the go-karts are coming in. They're flying in the front-wheel drive cars, and you just, hey, stop! And all the kids look at you, and he goes, you're going to throw a damn football, go in front of the trucks. And I turned to Titania, I said, damn, I think Ricky's growing up. She goes, that's just common sense. I say, I know, that's common sense. He didn't have 3 years
I
ago.
didn't have it.
So, but
you know, I tell a lot of people, though, I did it on my dollar, and I didn't have any money, you know, and I begged, borrowed, and pleaded from everybody I knew. It's no telling how much money I owe the Harmon family, to be honest with you. Dude, if I was Corey, I would have blocked me 10 years ago, and I'm telling you, I'd put a straight order out on me, so I couldn't, you know, because...
Well, you got to drive for Larry and
that's
yeah.
where I was getting at with Murray. You know, the Murray, you know, people are very opinionated about me, you know, and that's a good thing. I like it. You know, I put most hated on my shirt for a reason, you know, and I'm trying to steer away from that. You know, I don't want, you know, my kids, you know, well, now kids, but Caden, I didn't realize he can play football and all that, but the kid don't miss anything, you know. And I'm over there like, Caden, you're not even going to the racetrack. If you're not going to sit up here in the stands with your mom, we didn't do that running around.
No, we didn't.
We at Louisville, we may have went down and did one race with Billy and them down, you know.
Yeah, but no.
But we didn't do that. Well, you know, and speaking of Billy, you know, when Billy passed away, you know, Billy was like family to us, and
I tell people this all the time. That's what changed you.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, and. I mean, I'm still not perfect, you know.
Well, hell no, you're perfect.
But I'm happy with where I'm at right now. You know, really, Brittany is the reason. But the kids, you know, and even it goes back to Caden. He sees everything. I'm just now getting to enjoy my oldest. It's been a rough road. Yeah. But man, life's great right now. I mean, I hate the way the circumstances that come.
But everything happens for a reason,
right? You know, and I hope that him and his mom get, you know, they're gonna work their stuff out. You know.
Yeah, because you tormented mom for years. Y'all
right. And that's what I told him. You know? So that's for another day. But you know, but like I said, you asked me the question. Well, Murray gave me the opportunity. I've got to race. Pretty much, Brittany's went without, so we can race, and I've raced it up. Do I want to quit racing? No. I feel like I'm at my prime. I feel like I'm better today than I was ever, you know. I feel like I can race with anybody. But I got to realize that it's not about me. And the kids, you know, especially Micah. You know, Micah's 16 years old. Yeah. Micah being separated from us, but he wants to do it. So I don't know if we're going to build him a car or we're going to just basically let him take over what I was doing. You know, because Caden, obviously, I figure we're going to need more than one car, so I best bet would probably let them share a car. Yeah. Because I think they would both respect it a little more, knowing that their brother has to drive it the same night, you know, so, or it could be the other way around.
Well, I was saying, if we were sharing...
Because Caden did me dirty at Salem, you know, but it turned out for the good, but Caden knew that I had all this money invested in us to go to Salem. In the last corner, the last lap, he sticks it in the wall. It ended up working out great for me. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, well, depending on how many
when I tell you, dude, I've been madder than I've ever been in my life. Corey looks at me and laughs, and I'm like, "Oh God, dude! Now what are we gonna do?" And you know, and that's another thing, like different races. You know, I like trying new things, and Salem hasn't been very good to me. Me as a driver, that's bothered me because I feel that I can drive anything. There's not anything that I've gotten in yet that I couldn't drive.
Yeah.
Man, they're spanking me at Salem, you know, and I'm like, why? What are we doing? Well, it was a blessing that Caden wrecked my car because I got in Brandon Hooker's car. I had to start 82nd, but I didn't like Salem. I just had to do it for me. It was a me thing that I had to go up here. I had to get a top 5 for once. I had to. Well, I wasn't going to do it when Caden stuffed in the wall. Brandon looks at me and says, "You built it." That's why I didn't build it. I just prettied it up. You know, I just got done putting a body on this, and we painted it. And Brandon's son was racing with Caden, and Brandon's anxiety goes to the roof when his son races. Well, he's over there ripping me. I'm taking, dude, he's so mad when I get to the racetrack, I don't even know what's going on. And Corey's like, "What's wrong with him?" I was like, "I don't know. Just take it, I guess. I don't know." I said, "It's all right." I grabbed him and I said, "Sorry, bub. I'll take everybody else's ass ripping, you know." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Dude, what's wrong with you?" You know, and he's like, "That's why I'm not racing." And I was like, "All right, that's cool. Don't yell at me because you're not racing." I don't know. Well, he looks at me and says, "Go get it. You know where it's at, go get it." And I'm like, we just rented the track Wednesday. You wouldn't even let me touch this thing. The only thing I could touch it was loading it on a trailer. And you let Mikey Basham take it out, practice it. I'm like, it's new.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, maybe I'm losing it, you know.
Yeah.
And Unhart, you know, come to me. He was pretty drunk.
Yeah, Terry Scott.
Yeah, he was pretty drunk. And you know, Terry's Terry.
Yeah.
But he said something to me that bothered me last year, and he said, "Yeah, your Uncle Wayne." He said, "When you're on, you're on," but he said he thinks your better days are behind you. And I tell you what, I went out there and I put a spanking on him at night. I won the Ford Oval heat race, the Ford Figure 8 heat race, the Ford Oval feature, ran second in the Ford Figure 8 feature, and won the modified Figure 8 feature, and won the modified heat race that night. Or no, that was the night that I drove Royce Harmon's Oval Extreme car, and I won in it.
Yeah.
Because we didn't run the Figure 8. We ran the Figure 8 the next week. Well, for 4 weeks there, I put a hurting on him, and I thank Unhart for that, because Unhart lit a fire under me, dude. I was getting content.
Uncle Wayne might be your biggest supporter too.
No, dude.
He's 100%.
I did want to speak upon that, because he might not be there all the time, but I promise you, if he's at work, whatever he's doing, he could be hunting, fishing. He's watching the races.
Yeah.
And if he ain't watching it live because they're not doing it, and he's writing, wanting to know when Brittany was posting it. When's Brittany posting online?
The funny thing you say that, because you know when.
But he's hard on me too.
But we talk about our
Wayne be getting me.
But we talk about our family, and he was my first YouTube subscriber, and he listens to every show.
And looking at him, you wouldn't think he knows how to work a phone.
We're a racing family, and I tell people this all the time. Racing family.
We're not a big family, but Joey. Joey's involved. Joey's very, very aware of what's going on, and he keeps track. And Joey's good to come to the track once or twice a year, you know. And I know he's got family and he's got kids and
doing everything like.
You know, he's had a couple car wrecks that slowed him down, and you know, on the street, but he's still.
But I tell people this all the time.
You know, getting our mom to the racetrack, dude, amazes me.
Yeah.
You know, and Mom comes, and you know, she lives an hour away, so Mom's probably good to come once a month. You know, Papa don't come that often. You know, but I think now that he's retired, semi-retired, you know, I think he's going to come more.
Well, hell, because where they live, he's up there cutting wood and stuff, getting ready for the winter.
Getting ready for the winter because he can't do nothing else. Because poor Mom, she keeps it 155 degrees in there.
I mean, talking about funny thing, when I called him, talking about a guy that works around the clock.
Yeah. But before I forget, we talk about uncles. You know, Uncle Tim's been very, very big supporter. You know, but he's more active than Wayne. Yeah. But Wayne understands it. Yeah, better. Like Tim just is enjoying the ride. You know, he's 50 whatever, 60. I don't even know what he is, 50 something, and he's 12. Yeah, you know, in his mind, you know, Tim just likes to go with the flow, loves, but he don't care about racing. Yeah, no, he just something for him to do.
Uncle Wayne understands.
But Wayne will pep talk me. Yeah, you know, like just the weirdest times. You know, and I'll just get a message. I'll be at the racetrack, and he'll be like, I'm not there tonight, or I'm here. Just do what you do. And Wayne, I almost think he would pay for it if I would just commit full time with Outlaws, because he loves outlaw figure 8 racing. And he told me one time, he said, "It's really not that I don't like Outlaws. They're the best figure 8 drivers in the world, and I feel that you can run with them. And that's what I want you doing, you know, and for you." Yeah. And I'm like, man, people don't really understand what it takes. Like these guys running these dirt races, dude, and they're doing it 6-7 nights a week, man. I praise them because
trust me, I get it.
I drive 3 cars. I have 3 car owners, and I can barely make it to the racetrack. Yeah. And I own nothing. Yeah. That I drive, and I mean that. People think so. We have Caden's go-kart, the Ford, that is owned by. Well, I own half of it. I paid for half of it, but Brandon Hooker gives me anything we need. Tony Vaughn owns that. You know, Dennis and Leanne had owned my Crown Vics for the last few years. Brandon Hooker owns my modified car. Now I'm driving his Crown Vic at Salem. I literally don't own anything. And then we got Jackie and Joe. I don't own anything. Nothing. And, man, we can barely make it to the racetrack. Yeah. And I tell people that all the time, and they're like, man, how do you do it? And I said, well, it's just time. Time's easy. Well, how do you get there? Well, I got 3 owners. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I wish we can live the life that we want to live. Yeah, but, man, we can't do it. And I don't own nothing. Well, like Caden's go-kart, I don't own it. Yeah. Brandon Hooker owns it. Well, he saved my racing. Brandon has saved my racing. But I got to say this, what I was trying to say before, Murray opened the door for opportunity. we got to Florida. We won the Outlaw. What was that? The qualifier on 20. I was on cloud 9, and I tell you what, I watch that race probably once a month just to remind myself, because we had really the best of the best in it. You know, I know there was 2 qualifiers, but our race was stacked. We had Van Meter, all 3 tonnies, Corey Harmon, Ronnie Basham. You know, Ronnie Basham is probably one of the most talented around this area. That dude's a beast. That right there built my confidence up for me to just continue. And then it opened the door with Larry. You know, but Murray opened the door by giving me the opportunity. There was a lot of stuff said about me around here, and Murray just, you know, and that means a lot to me, because, you know, Murray builds 90% of the engines around here. And for him to take away what everybody says, you know, and look over it and jeopardize his business, you know what I mean, to let me drive, being teammates with Buddy, and then it opened the door for Larry Harmon and Corey. And you drive one of them race cars, man, I tell you what, I don't know anybody but Dad and JC that has ever driven a Harmon car of Larry's. Still to this day. Do you? I don't know of anyone that ever drove a car Larry Harmon owned other than JC Miles and Dad. When Corey got kicked out, they called Dad to run. You know, Kern owned his stuff. You know, that's, you know, his brother-in-law, Larry. And Larry Harmon's race cars are top of the line. But it all started with Murray. You know, and man, we went on to win a couple championships with Larry. And just last year, I got to drive Royce's Oval Extreme car, our sportsman.
Yeah.
But we won. I ran at the Triple 25 night. Royce was down on himself, and I think it's what lit the fire in him, because after I won that second race and everyone,
Royce.
He set it on fire, you know.
Royce is a pretty good little wheel man.
Man, you know, you would have never thought it.
Yeah,
you know,
he's a pretty good wheel man.
And I tell you what, the boy's very smart.
Yeah.
And Royce is a little mean. He's a little, you know, he don't know how to, he don't know. Well, Larry yeah. Man, God love you, dude. Larry Harmon is probably, you know, there's a lot of people out in this world, man, that have the wrong opinion of Larry. Yeah. And Larry's the type of guy, he reminds me of that movie Pure Country. Yeah. The old man sitting at a table. Y'all just talk too damn much. You know? If you ever talk to Larry, hell of a guy. Yeah, I mean, dude, that Harmon family's.
Well, the same thing. Like, people, you know, I hear people around talk about Rance, and I've been on racing trips with Rance Harmon, and you know, because I helped get Ben going. You know, when they started racing,
but there isn't a bad Harmon. But no, I mean, really, you know, there isn't.
But like when people have their misconception of Rance Harmon, I say Rance Harmon is like a 16-year-old kid having the time of his life. When he goes to all these dirt tracks, I mean, it's just. But one thing about Rance, he will bitch up a storm if it's over $3 for a burger at the concession stand or a fried bologna sandwich. But all those guys, man, they're just so. You know, they get a misconception. You know,
but I feel I'm the same way. Like people that know me know I'm nothing like people put me out to be. You know, and I'll help you. Look how many people I've put in my race cars, go-karts. I've gotten kids started racing. You know, and I don't even own my go-kart, and I still put kids in it, you know, and I'm like, man, I'm putting it online. You know, this Brandon could get mad, but, you know, I want to see racing grow, you know, and
I told Mike Gibson this when I interviewed him.
That was a good interview.
Yeah, I told Mike Gibson.
A lot of people don't realize that Mike Gibson is an awesome dude. Yes. You know, me and Mike have never, ever seen eye to eye. And we still have our problems. But Mike understands. You know, Mike, people don't realize that, but Mike truly does understand. He gets it, you know.
Well, I told Mike this. I said, because I was one of those guys that when I left the sports room, I didn't care if they ever raced again. Right. Screw this place. I went.
See, that's my home track. Yeah, you know, and that's, I base all my racing around the sport. Like, literally, you want to go run here? I don't know. Let me check the drone. You know. Yeah. I've passed up some awesome opportunities and some different things that I'll never get the opportunity again. But because my home track or my kids racing that day or.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I told Mike. I said, you know, I left here and I was screw this place. Blah blah blah. I said, like, earlier this year when we came to the races to watch you run, I walk in and I see the kids racing figure eight underneath the bleachers.
It tears me up. But, man, people love it, but it tears me up. Yeah. And everybody tags me on Facebook because they know it, because it eats me apart. Yeah. And it's awesome. I'm glad the kids can do that.
But I see that. And
that was us.
And I see all that, and I said, you know, and I told Mike this, and especially for people like you and Cricky and, like, I mean, Hoobry, Ronnie Bat, like, because those guys grew up there.
Right,
They grew
right.
up there watching their family race.
Right.
And I said, Mike, I'm glad that
It's still here. Right,
because a lot of people don't understand, like,
It was very close.
yeah, because I talked to Mike about it, and
Yeah, he was openly about it.
and me and a lot of people don't know this, and I think it raised opened some eyes. Like Mike Gibson and I, we talk about racing on a different level.
Oh, right.
And especially with me being on the road announcing and seeing all the stuff, I would love to be there and help Caden more, help you, and once Micah starts racing, but
That's what I've always said.
Yeah.
I don't care. You will fix anything I tear up. There's no doubt in my mind. And everybody asked me, how come your brother's not more involved? I said, he's got a lot going on. And at the time you were real big into coaching, and we all played sports.
Yeah.
I was a heck of a basketball player. You was, Joey was. But racing just overpowers everything.
Yeah.
So to me, hell with them kids. Hell with the basketball. You know what I mean? Like the selfishness in me is hell with them kids. They ain't even nobody you know. You did it when Ben, was playing, but hell with them other kids, And I'm like, but he's got a lot going on, and I said, that's what I've always said. I said, look, my brother knows. Royce is going to tell my brother. We're going to give him an update when they clock in.
Yeah.
They work together. I said, I get phone calls from Bobby on Saturday nights when he's coming back from wherever, wanting to know. He already knows how I did. But he's wanting my side of it, good or bad. He don't call me on very many nights I win. But he does call when there's controversy or whatever. But I've always said, you've never, ever not fixed whatever I tore up. And when I started racing, Dad told me, you can't tear up nothing that we can't fix. Well, a couple years back, Dad said, I think that little son of a bitch took it to heart. He said, all right, we might not be able to fix everything. He said, the older we get.
But there is nothing I can't fix. Like,
no. And that's why I've defended. I can't say that I've never driven anyone dirty. I don't think I've ever started any conflict that I've been in.
Yeah.
But I've never been one to steer away from it because I've always known that I got a group of people, regardless of the money factor.
Yeah.
Even before we had, Chris Maynard, with the pizza place, he come on board and he's the one that let me know the finances was okay, and Brittany's always said, we'll figure it out, so take my attitude, my street life and all that. I'm not going to take any stupidity, and there's other stuff I want to say, but I love good racing and I love hard racing. I don't mind bumping and grinding, but when you go in there and just wipe me out for no reason, yeah, you did just spin me. But like I told Mike Gibson one time, me and him had a conversation. He's like, it was a tire, Ricky. You tore up 2 race cars over a tire. And I said, oh, Mike, no. I said, do you know that we spent my rent money to come race? I bought 4 tires to run this race with my rent money. I can be evicted in 15 days. And I said, keep this in mind. This is the God's honest truth. You want to see? I'll show you. I'll bring you my late when I get my red bill from the landlord. I said, Tuesday. I said, so I was running third, and I was running third that night, and I was probably going to win. I get a tire cut down. I get spun. My night's over. Rear end's knocked out of the car. I don't even think it bent it, but just say a tire and a wheel. It busted a wheel, busted a tire. Okay, I've done spent $500 on a set of tires. I put $40 in my truck to get here. And this was when I owned it, back in 2015, I owned everything. And it took everything we had, and Brittany's like, I would tell her no, you know what I mean? We're not going to run tonight, or we'll just run the old tires, And she would take whatever light bill money, whatever it was, And I guess, in a way, she believed I was going to make it back. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she's just stupid or she believed. But
there could be there's probably some truth to that statement.
Well, but the support I get from her, that was the confidence.
Yeah.
Well, regardless of all that, when you get taken out running third with 10 to go, 50, whatever it was, and then I lost a $100 tire, I lost a $100 wheel, the $50 it cost me to get in the racetrack at night, the $40 in the truck, the $80 in the race car fuel. The money in her car, the entry for them and Mom. And I said, Mike, I'm out $2,500. He's like, well, you're not. I said, no, my family has invested $2,500. And I might not have a place to live in 30 days. over that tire. It's not just a tire. You know, and there's a lot of people that have car owners, and I do now. Yeah. You know, I'm very thankful for, very blessed for the opportunities that I'm given. But man, at one time, so it's been able to help me grow up because I have car owners, and we haven't been taking, the light bill, the grocery money. You know, there's been times, dude, that we went to Florida and hoped the tax check hit. We're down here to race, and we ain't got $1. We're hoping that it hits. If not, I'm gonna have to borrow some money from somebody because we're in Florida gonna look like some idiots. Why ain't y'all racing? Our tax check didn't hit. You know what I mean? So, and we've done it. We've done it a lot, and that's why I always say, like, the all rallies of the racing, dude, was just, I see why Joey rooted them on. Because I never knew what it took to do to get there. I just always knew that people raced.
We were going to race.
We were going to race. But when you take all that into consideration, it makes you grow up. And appreciate the opportunities that you have. And so I'm going to scale back on racing, man, and I'm going to let the kids do it. I'm going to run for a championship. I want to win one modified figure eight. I got 3, I believe. Yeah. Modified, well, maybe 2. Well, whatever it is, it's split with Corey.
Yeah.
And I want one.
A solo.
Yeah. Which Corey is going to, I'm going to have you change the cockpit here so Corey can fit, if he wants to run some. They gave me the opportunity, and I drove their cars for years, and Corey's self-confidence is getting down, and the outlaw and everything. And, I told him, and I don't want to race every week. I want to, I just said I'm ready to go back racing, but I really do. I want to be involved, but I don't want to drive as much. I do, but I know it's time for me to step back because I want to stay sharp. I want to stay, because I still want to race.
Well, it's funny when you ask me, how did I just walk away? That's how. Right there, like that same question, when you said, I want to race, I want to be involved. Well, when I quit, I knew I was going to have plenty of work to do with your stuff anyways. There's going to be plenty of work to do. So, like,
but the enjoyment factor just isn't, I don't even like working on my cars. I get no enjoyment out of that. But I do on the weekends, and I don't mind working on Caden stuff, and it's crazy how it changes because I don't mind working on Corey stuff. I'll go help Corey or whoever, I don't care. But when you have kids doing it, man, it's a totally different feeling. And Dad was always there, but Dad kind of just let us do it our way.
Well, yeah, he made sure we knew what we had to do.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's right, if I'm right, if I'm wrong. I might be hurting Caden, but I'm hard on Caden.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing from coaching and aspects and even like with you, people ask me, like last year I come to the racetrack and you win, and they said, what kind of changes did you make? I said, not really anything. I put a spacer on, put a spring rubber in, and told him that, hey, where you're starting, if you don't win, when you come back in here, we're going to have a grown conversation. He said, well, what? I said, no, that's serious. That's what it was. No, you did something to that car. I said, no, I didn't. I ate a chili dog.
What's funny is I don't know where you all were coming from. I didn't even know y'all was there. I'm running 4th, 5th. I'm coming from the back, and it was a Ford Oval race. And I don't even see you. I see Tanya at the fence. And I think there's 4 or 5 to go. Caution comes out. I still don't see you. Where's he at? Well, you come walking up, you was eating something.
Well, yeah, if I'm at the racetrack,
and I was like, where the hell have they been? They done raced all kind of races. Where have they been? I didn't have a car to run up front. I mean, I was struggling right there, 6th, 7th. We went back green. I made the last lap pass, won. And Tanya said, I told him, you was going to win this race. If he knew you was here, you was winning that race. And then it's crazy because I don't think of it. You know what I mean? Like when you come to the track, I don't say, Bobby's here, I got to win. It don't ever cross my mind, But I think just self-consciously, I don't want no bad experiences when you're there because I want you there, which I understand. I get it. Yeah. I wish you was there more because I'm just better all around. Yeah. My mentality's different. I might take somebody cutting my tire off if you're there. You know what I mean? And
I don't know how because I never could. Well, but the exact opposite.
But it's the I don't know. I don't know. But I grew up, wanting that to be you. And hell, we was in my Jeep hauling you over. I'll never forget that. That thing started shaking, dude.
Oh,
This
yeah,
thing
and I
had the
jumped
death
up.
wobbles.
Yeah.
You jumped up. Tanya pees herself laughing so hard because you're like, what we hitting? What we hitting?
Yeah.
You know, but them were the days, man, that I wish I would have just took the time, took pictures. You know what I mean? Like, Caden's very active and involved, but here lately, like a lot of times, Micah can't relate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Caden remembers, dude, I think from the time he was born. Like, the stuff he remembers is that I can't do it, you know? And I really wish that I would have. That's my goal for this year, is that we're gonna enjoy it more as a family, you know. And you know, Dad's been active, you know, and Dad comes, you know. We all know his health isn't the best, you know, but he comes when he can, you know.
Yeah, he tells me all the time, like when I talk to him, because I call him and check on him.
And you know, he don't do nothing.
Yeah, no, he just hangs out.
And really, I can ask him a question, and he'll just look at me, like you know, like Dad.
Well,
you know.
but that's funny that you say that, because like Dad's still really sharp on a lot of stuff, and
He'll tell me every time I'm doing something wrong.
well, I would ask him, like, setup wise. When I first started racing, I'm trying to move my rear end. What about this? He'll just look at it. He'll go cook something on the grill.
But you know,
Hey, let
I
me work
really
for 2 or
don't
3
think.
hours.
I don't think Dad. I think he did it the junkyard way. I don't believe he did making the parts and.
Well, but he did though. I mean, he taught me how to do it. Yeah.
I think he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
But in his mind, he tells us all the time,
You got steering wheel?
y'all don't need that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's actually my mentality. You know, I don't need to go buy these shocks. You know,
No.
if I can't find 2/10 in my driving, then I don't need to be doing it. You know, and it's kind of made me have a different outlook now that I'm older and realize the things that he would say. And Larry Harmon, the man of very few words, you know, had really took me in and made me realize how good I was. I don't mean to sound cocky or arrogant or nothing like that. Obviously, the championships and the wins speak for itself, and the opportunities that I'm given. But he put some self-confidence in me, and I didn't have to be ignorant, you know. And I wish I would have just known that a lot sooner. You know, I wish I would have known that back in 2010 when I had the opportunity with Butch. And
That's all. It all comes to growing up.
I hope there is such thing as reincarnation, and I hope I come back, and I hope I get to do it again. You know what I mean? Because I know I would do it a different way, but I loved every minute of it.
But
you know?
here's the thing: if there is a such thing, I hope I'm back there with you. But surely, God, I hope you don't tear up nowhere near as much shit as you have the last 20 years.
There's no way I could if I could look at it different. You know.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
But you know, I have tore up a lot of race cars. But,
oh yeah. I fixed a lot of them. You tore up.
But you know, Caden, he's right there.
Yeah, I know.
And Caden tears some shit up.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't like it. You know, because he's better than that. And now I get why.
Well, I was gonna strangle you.
Larry Harmon, Dad would joke.
Dad always laughed though. He laughed everything.
Yeah, but Dad was a wrecker too.
Yeah.
But Dad fixed his own shit. He didn't have to depend on nobody. You know, he you know, I think I wish he would have ever got some money behind him. You know, I really thought that Gary was it.
Yeah.
You know, and then life happens. You know, things happen, and you know, Dad had that good run with Chris McFarland.
Yeah.
You know, that River City Bank car.
And he had a good run. You don't know this with Bob Newton. And
Darryl Racing.
Yeah, he traveled the country.
But it all goes back to, I mean, who was Dad? Was Dad like me? You know, obviously, you know what I mean? Maybe different ways, but why didn't anybody, you know? Because back then, you know, everybody had rides.
Yeah.
You know, you could get a ride back then. If you had a truck and a trailer to get it there, somebody would pay for it.
Well, he was another guy that did it his own way, though. Like,
right. Did he want to?
Yeah.
Or was that, you know, we don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we may never know.
We need to get him on here one day.
Well, it's in the works. It's in the works.
But I want to be here.
Yeah.
I want to have the boys here, Dad.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe even Joey.
Yeah.
Have an outsider in it, you know?
Yeah. So it's in the works.
But there is a lot of racing questions, and I don't think Dad would answer them if we wasn't on here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think here he would answer them.
Yeah.
But Dad just, he's like he don't care, but he absolutely loves racing.
He cares about everything, but he's just so nonchalant about everything in life. He's always been like that.
Yeah, he's been like, dude, it doesn't matter how much trouble I got into. He didn't care.
No.
Like, you know, he cared. Don't get me wrong. For me.
Yeah, no.
But he didn't give shit.
Yeah.
He's like,
Okay.
What am I gonna do? Beat you?
Yeah.
Drown you? What's that gonna do? That's gonna punish me.
His number
am I
one.
gonna make you stay in the house? No.
His number one.
He let us do it our way.
Yeah. His number one statement was, "You'll figure it out."
Yeah.
That's you'll figure it out.
I remember when he come and got me from the police station that day. I'll never forget it, dude. And he said, "Your mom's on her way and she's pissed."
Yeah.
She told that cop, he said, "You the only one here?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "You better go ahead and get back up. Because I'm going to tell you, them 2 cuffs you got ain't going to get her. Because she's going to wear his head out when she gets here." And I said, "Well, you're not taking me?" He goes, No. She done threatened me too. I was like, "What'd you come for?" He said, "I come to watch, see what's going to happen."
So,
and that's the part of not caring. Like, he knew I did. I knew I messed up.
And
he knew I messed up.
And he knew she was going to fix it. So
yeah, he didn't have to.
He didn't have to.
And my mama, boy, I thought they was locking her up. I said, "This ain't good."
That's what I told. I told Kaden and Mike about this. I said, "Y'all got to soften."
Any boy, like when you have kids and there's no favoritism there.
They're both good kids, right?
No, they are. Yeah. They are, and I've been very fortunate. I got 2 great mothers of theirs. So, it just took me a long time to realize it.
Well, that's part of it, and we're winding down here. So, like I said, we're an hour and 30 minutes in, and this is a
and I was edited it. So
well,
it's all right.
yeah. Well, this
we can go on forever.
Yeah, no.
But
there will be a part 2 and a part 3.
There's memories though that man, we just keep going.
Yeah.
Like we skipped a lot of like the racing stuff. I bought an oval extreme car, let Flash drive it. Like there's a whole lot more, but.
It's
been an awesome ride, dude.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
And we jump around, and that's what we do on the show. But just from an older brother to a younger brother, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I never thought I'd hear you say that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna strangle you. I didn't say that. I was like, hold on, you're taking it like we're getting emotional here. I didn't say I wasn't gonna strangle you.
Yeah. Wait till we turn his mic off.
Yeah, I'll turn his mic off. I'm gonna smack the shit out of you. But
not too bad. I'll go back to work.
but because I know the path you was taking, and I like to say I kind of helped steer you away from that. I know.
You did.
I know I wasn't the only reason why, but I like to say that. So I kind of feel like as you're doing this, as you're succeeding, I'm succeeding because as far as racing, when racing's done and over with, I tell the people this all the time. Like I watched my dad give everything he had to racing, and when it's gone, all it is just memories anyways.
Right. And that goes back to, man, I wish I would have just slowed down and just captured pictures. I'm not a picture taker.
Yeah.
You all are.
Yeah.
Tanya takes pictures of everything. Yeah. She's probably done took 15 of us sitting here.
Yeah. I'm sure there's at least one being posted on the internet.
Yeah, I don't even know where she's at. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm sure she probably got us and the cat somewhere in here or whatever. But, and Brittany's not a big picture taker, but I just wish that's my goal for this year. Man, sit back, take it all in, enjoy it.
Well, like I said, enjoy the ride because
you don't ever know when your last one's coming.
You don't, because like I said, when I quit, this isn't about me. This is about you.
No.
But when I quit racing, me and Tanya were driving home, and it was you were racing, and Joe Fink done moved away, so we didn't have no help. And you was wanting to race your career, and I get it. And I was still traveling,
and I couldn't afford to go race with you.
Yeah, and and I was racing all over, and Dad just got sick the first time, and we didn't have no help in general at all.
Right.
And then Tanya's dad got sick, and we kind of had to take care of Brandon and Michael. We had to make sure they were going to be okay. And I was driving home from a race that I won, and I'm driving home and I'm thinking how much work I got to do to get to the next race. And that's when I decided, like, you know what? I asked Tanya this. I said, didn't you say Brandon had a basketball game this week? Like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So we just went and did that. And she's like, what do you mean you're done? I'm like, yeah, I'm done. She's like, no, you can't be done,
I've always said there's more to why you quit than what you're leading on.
No,
yeah, there is. There's something.
No,
there's something. I'll take it to my grave. I'm telling you, there's something. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's negative. I don't know if it's positive. I don't know.
Honestly,
it felt like you wasn't competitive anymore because you were still competitive.
No, I mean I was winning races, and
I have a different opinion of it. But my opinion of it is, Dad was scaling back, and when Dad scaled back, you didn't know what you wanted to do.
Well, no, see,
because you got to think when Dad scaled back, that's when I was You know, hell, I was hauling you everywhere. It was
Yeah.
race 4 nights a week. Honestly, I believe that you just felt at the time that I think you felt that Dad didn't believe in you anymore. You
No,
know,
it wasn't that.
because you went through a time there that you were struggling.
Yeah.
And it was money.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, it was money.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was- even though you spent everything you had, and
Yeah.
you made good money.
yeah, no, I
you
didn't
weren't-
like for what, but
I felt that you were trying the traveling racing, and that's why I love traveling racing. Like, I go to Florida every year, you know that,
Yeah.
and we've been to California.
Yeah.
The traveling racing, man, just drains. It takes the money
well
just to travel.
well
you know?
that was my thing was.
I think you just got frustrated with the whole situation.
I just got burned out, like, and I don't know why, because I could still go to the races, but it was just
Because
the work,
you were doing
the
it alone,
money.
though.
So you gotta give them.
That's why I try to tell them, though, when it's over.
Yeah.
You know, Matt Johnson's no joke. You know,
Yeah.
the division and the Fords, you know, they're so competitive, man. It's like, honestly, I believe it, man. When Mark Tunney said at the end of the 3 hour, you got to take it in because you never know when your next one is. And mine could have already happened. You know what I mean? I had my B feature, Howling Rim.
Yeah,
you know?
that could have been it.
That could have been it,
Yeah.
you know, and it might be. We don't know.
You never know. And but like I said, you'll know when it's time, because I knew I was, like I said, I was just driving.
But I
down
don't think it, I don't believe that.
Yeah, when I was driving
I
by.
don't believe it. I don't care.
Yeah, I was driving
You
by.
still want to race today?
No,
Yeah.
no. If I did, I'd just build a car. But I
No,
don't.
that-
And look, I tell you what. When I decide that, when I think,
when I don't have nobody come to the track, I'll quit.
yeah,
But if I know I got people coming and I got people calling me, I don't want Uncle Tim to have to call. You racing this weekend?
yeah,
He knows I'm racing this weekend.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But when I get to Urge, this is funny. When I get to Urge, I just get the go kart out and I water down the Brook Speedway in the backyard. We water it down.
That was fun. That was fun.
And I make a few laps and I come in. I tell Tanya how sore I am and how I'm not doing this no more. I'm way too old for this. It
go-karts
hurts.
is terrible.
Oh, it
They're
hurts.
terrible.
But as we're winding down here, I want you to thank your sponsors. Thank whoever you want to thank, and and then we can do this again some other time.
First of all, I got to thank all my car owners. Tony Vaughn, he pretty much owns the car that Caden drives, the Crown Vic. We bought it half and half, but he pretty much, owns it.
Yeah.
It's his.
Yeah.
And I met Tony through Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis is one of my real good friends. I consider him family. Him and his wife gave me an opportunity to win a couple of championships and won a lot of races. Went to Florida. So I still got to thank him, because actually when I sold his car, he told me to keep the money and put it towards the new
Yeah.
car. So actually him and Tony own
Yeah.
the Crown Vic that the kids are going to drive this year. But Joe and Jackie, they've always sponsored me, period. And then I don't know how I talked Jackie into it. Well, I know how I did. It's a long story. We're not going to get in that.
Yeah.
But, so we ended up getting Chris Harmon's old car, and that was a big confidence booster in itself. Brandon Hooker, just even outside of racing, that man has saved me. I owe everything to him. He took Caden under, and he accepts Micah. He pays him to work now, and Brandon had, even not only me, just the people he's helped in general. Hell, he brings you work. He,
Yeah.
He takes Sean Smith work, and he he still tries to,
divvy it
help.
out.
Yeah. He likes all y'all,
Yeah.
but he don't want to take one thing to you,
Yeah.
and then, another guy be like, so he tried. I mean, just in that way, he's just he all around dude. He's awesome for short track racing. Without him,
Yeah.
people like him is what keep it going. And so I got to thank him and his wife Emily and the whole Diesel Boys. Them guys, dude, they come to the racetrack. They went to Howling Rim with us. Down there supporting us. I got to thank Richie's Body Shop, Corey Ritchie, Jonathan and Denise. They always jump in. They've just been some friends, and if we really need anything go-kart wise, they help us tremendously, because we have obviously a wild child. And Jonathan has every part you need and more. So they give us whatever. Again, I got to thank Dennis for the few years and continuous help that he don't even know about, really.
Yeah.
Joe and Jackie, you with Fubar Race Cars, you and Dad. I don't tell him what a bill would be.
Yeah, no.
I tell people that all the time. And Brandon, like when you put the body on the oval car, and he pays you,
Yeah.
but he still don't. You know, you still have never charged what you should.
No, no, and never will.
And no, but you know, it goes a long way. You know, I've turned you on to.
Yeah.
You know, and don't get me wrong. If you know, I always ask you anything, what do I owe you? Yeah. But I know that. In back of my mind, I'm asking that, and hoping you don't give me. You know what I mean? You give me a price, I'm like, well, damn. I'm gonna call somebody up, Brandon. You know, but no, you know, and I know, you know. You still got parts out here.
Yeah.
I was working on my extreme car one day, and I was like, "Oh, I got bent ball joint. Let's go to Bobby's cabinet."
Yeah.
A brand new one, you know.
That cabinet is getting low. Yeah, I'm about out of parts.
That ain't all me though, because the only thing I've got out here is ball joint. That's all I've got.
But no, my cabinet is getting low.
I did get a wheel from above it. But,
yeah.
But no, I mean, and I got to thank Jeremy Haynes with Haynes Automotive. You know, it's one of Brandon's really good friends, and he helps us on the extreme cars. Josh Cobb with Platinum Towing. He helps on everything, you know, whatever we need. He's a cool dude. It's actually Dennis's nephew. Again, Murray at B&R Speed Shop. I got to give it all to him. You know, it started with him, really. You know, I know Butch back in the day, but Murray opened the door, and I tell you what, that man has. I wouldn't have kicked me out of there, really. But I mean, when I wanted to go outlaw racing, man, I didn't have any money. I'm not gonna lie. Murray said, "What you got?" And I was embarrassed to tell him what I had, and he said, "Give it to me," you know. And I'm not going to disclose what it was, but it wouldn't have bought the heads on the car. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. So I hope his old lady don't hear this or whatever. But now, I mean, they've been awesome to me. So, you know, and I also got to thank Chris at Kentucky Clutch. I mean, I don't know how many tickets he threw away when he was selling parts. You know, and anybody, you know, Chris and Tiffany Maynard, even though they've moved on with, you know, and they're moving to Florida, and you know. It takes them all, you know, and when, you know, I wish I could remember everybody that's ever helped, you know, because even if they're not, you know, helping now, they have helped along the way. And anybody that's helped Caden, you know, I appreciate that. I would do away with just helping him, man. That means a lot when he started racing. And Scott Ecken, he's a fan in the stand, dude. And that dude is unlimited. I mean, I can't thank that man enough. I didn't know it was due from Adam. Yeah. You know, he literally sit down in front of my family, and he was like, you need some help for the 3-hour? And I was like, hell, we can always use some help. You know, I thought he was talking about pit help. Just an awesome dude, man. Ended up becoming really good friends with him, you know, and you don't meet people like that every day, you know, and it's just pretty awesome. Awesome dude. And the Harmon family. I got to thank Larry, Corey, Royce, all of them. Even Jeff, you know. I used to not like Jeff. For no reason whatsoever. There was no reason, and I mean this. I'm going to tell Jeff this one day. He might even hear it through here.
Well, you're probably telling him right now, then, because
you know,
you'd be surprised how many listeners we get.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there was no reason for me not to like Jeff. I just didn't like Jeff. I liked Chris, and I liked Rance. I've never had a problem not to like Rance. You know, I know that Corey's had, you know. Corey's been my best friend for life.
Right. And Corey's got problems with everybody.
Look, that's what I'm saying. But they're family. Yeah. I've never picked sides. And I felt that Chris has treated me a little differently because of Corey, you know, at times. But Chris has still helped me, and I appreciate all of them.
Yeah.
You know, Jeff has helped me just conversations at the racetrack, stay calm, just the talks. And to be honest with you, I think Rance was the reason why I drove Royce's car this year. Yeah. You know, I guess he was like, you're wasting my time here, you know. But, you know, Royce was going to be a dad, and, you know, his dad with Larry's health and his mom's health and everything, you know, and Royce's head wasn't in it, you know. And even for Rance Harmon to even, you know, consider me, you know, that means a lot to me. And like I said, Corey Harmon, I don't know why he does what he does. Works so hard on it, especially you.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no, you're terrible on him, dude. Poor guy.
But the thing is, a lot of people don't see this side of it. I'm about like Corey, like I am with you.
No,
I'll give him all kinds of shit, but when I know he's down or whatever, I'll hit him up and, you know, check on him. Corey, Dylan, all you kids. Yeah, I still look at y'all as like, little brothers. No, so.
Yeah. But Corey, he gets 50% of the credit for anything that I've done, good or bad. Yeah. I mean, I'm on the bad side of it, you know.
Well,
you know, Mike Gibson feels the way he does about me is because I was fighting for Corey Harmon for so many years. You know, it ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But, you know, people don't forget, you know. Yeah. But no, Corey has, it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, he's gave up sponsors for me to go race, you know, and that's hard to do, you know, when you, even, he didn't have the money. You know, Corey's a tightwad. We all know that. But Corey got a family. Yeah. You know, he's got 2 kids, and he's got a house, and, you know, I thank him for everything he does. I mean, that boy, and Chris Willis. You know, Chris Willis, hey, we all know Willie. Yeah. Willie's Willie. That boy's something else. Yeah. And I gotta thank, you know, Mom, you know, Brittany. I almost forgot Brittany. I'd have been terrible.
I wasn't going to let you forget her.
Man, and I got to thank Caden and Micah, you know, because they have made me have a different outlook on everything. And, man, if the kids are racing, I'll fall back. If I don't race again and the kids are into it, I'm okay with that. So I would be okay.
I'm telling you, it's so easy. Once you miss one, it's easy to... And once you miss one, it's easy to miss 2. I'm just talking about as far as you driving. I'm talking about, like, you. Like, once you...
but when I get kicked out for 2 weeks... It tears my ass apart.
That's different because you're mad.
No.
That's not on your terms.
Not, you know me. Yeah. I'm the type of person. I get mad. Give me 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm good.
We're good.
You know, and I've been like that my whole life, no matter what. And that's why I tell everybody, don't drag this on to next week. Yeah. You know what I mean? Call me tomorrow. I'm good. Yeah. You know, I might act out right now, but I'm good. Yeah. Even at the racetrack. Yeah. Hell, I never thought I'd hear you say he's proud of me. Well, I don't care if I race again, but I made it. You know what I mean? Hey, it might be locally. I made it.
Why I'm proud of you?
My brother done told me proud of me. He ain't never told me. He ain't never told me good job on thing when I won. He just go get my picture and go leave.
No, that's not. I give you a fist bump. Come on now.
I will give you credit. And when I drove the 3 hour from Murray, and we had the issue we had and broke a rack, there were some people that told me some of the things that you said, and they believe that. Or you believe that I was going to win that race, and that right there shocked me, you know, and that gave me like, I ain't never told you this, but I don't even know who, maybe Macy, maybe, I don't even know who it was. And Chris, you was there helping Chris, and Chris, it was during the pandemic, you know, you're only allowed to have this many people, and you actually had your ride leave you at the racetrack, because Chris wrecked 7 minutes into the race, or 7 laps, or whatever it was, and he was like, no, I'm going to stay here and help my brother, and I seen Chris leave. You know, a caution. I seen him backing out. You know, I don't know why you notice stuff like that. And then I'm like, well, there goes my brother. You know what I mean? He's leaving. I knew you rode with him. Like, you know. And then when I come in and for my pit stop and we're running 4th on the lead lap, an hour and a half in the race, you were the one that took command. And I'm like, where the hell did he come from? You know what I mean? I thought he left. And that right there, that was awesome. We just 1 or 2. We're not gonna do the major.
Well, I'm gonna. In the show on this, like I said, I'm proud of you as an older brother to a younger brother, as a friend, and most importantly, I'm proud of you because of the father you're becoming.
Thank you.
Because honestly, you know,
I never expected it. You know, who does?
Yeah, who does? I mean, a long time ago, this could have went a couple of different ways. Right. And you know, I think it's finally starting to go the way that it should, and that's a positive thing. And on this show here, we're trying to bring back and memories and families and everything that we're trying to do.
So bring it back to the track. Come back to the track. Well, you ain't trying to bring it back too much.
That's what I'm about to say.
And Tanya wants you to race, so you got the support there.
Well, here's the thing. I enjoy the promoting side of it and the announcing and the trying to run a series because
Clark County's available.
Well, I don't enjoy it that much yet.
Just throwing it out there.
But I enjoy this side of it because, you know, I was always a traveler. Like, even in high school, I would travel 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to go watch races. So, you know, I found something that keeps you involved in the sport, but keeps you, that you enjoy. And I think you're going to do the same thing with the kids. You know what I'm saying?
But absolutely, because I can go watch the kids race. You know, we'll go race it. I promise you. Hey, there's a dirt late model sitting right across from the wave from over there that we can get pretty cheap. We got street stock cars. We got whatever. You just tell me what you want us to do. Hell, we'll build you one. What you want?
No, I don't want to go no racing no more.
Why?
Man.
Come back.
No, I can't do it.
I tell you what you need to do. You like Salem, right?
Yeah, Salem's all right. Yeah.
You liked Eldora?
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
No, you liked Eldora when you went.
Well, let's put it this way: all the trophies I ever won, I got one in the house, and that's Eldora.
Okay. Let's take the Crown Vic to Eldora. You know it's safe.
Yeah.
I've been in one. You know, my cars have been fast. You know, let's go to Eldora. You drive it. I'll pay the bill. Let's go.
Nah, we probably ain't gonna do that.
You take your nephew's car.
Yeah, because then I feel bad when I put it through the wall.
No, I don't care about the car. But I'm sure Brandon will let you take his.
Yeah.
We'll take Princess. They call her.
Princess.
Yeah, Mikey tells all the time. I can't believe you tore up Princess.
Yeah.
Tries to get me in trouble. He wants me out of that ride.
Yeah.
But let's go. Let's go to Eldora. Let's go. You pick the track. We'll run my outlaw. I don't care.
I can't. I don't know. We'll talk about
Run
that.
figure eight man. I'm telling you, them Crown Vics have brought the fun. That's why I don't want to quit. If the Crown Vics never happen, once I won I'm not gonna lie. If I win figure eight madness, that's the only figure eight race that I haven't won a sports show. I've been leading many a times, and stupid shit happened. Corey let me run it 5 straight years, dude. He got out of it trying to get me one, and I think that's just the race that's gonna get me. But I told Brandon last year, I said, Bub, you can sell this car tonight. If I win this race, I'm done. And I mean that. If I win figure eight madness at the sports show, that will be my. Now, if we're up there in the championship, I will finish the year.
Yeah.
But I promise you, the very end of the night, I'll be done with the sports show, and they won't have to worry about me ever again. But until I win figure eight madness, they're not getting rid of me. And Brandon said, I don't know if I can afford that. I said, well, Bub, we'll just wait and just run madness every year then. But, no, you need to come back racing.
I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Let's build a car together. I'll retire. Here you go.
Hell no.
Now look. I'll retire. I'll quit racing. Let's build something and just run it once a month.
Nah, it ain't happening.
Yeah,
100% that ain't happening. Because, well, first off, I don't want to do the work.
What you mean you have to do the work if I was doing it? I'm getting ready to bring you a car. It needs a rear clip.
Yeah.
It needs bumpers. It needs rub bars.
Yeah.
It needs a body.
But that's gonna pay for a vacation.
It needs cockpit.
Yeah.
I need a new car. I need shock mounts. Will we keep going?
No, I don't. Because my garage may be booked up forever.
You see, you're not thinking about this though, Bub. You see, I'm a little smarter than that. Brandon still pay you to do it on our car.
Yeah.
You'll still get paid for it. And then you get to enjoy both sides. I'm just telling you, I just miss the days, man, that we went racing. And I tell you what, I had some fun times, man, with like, even when we went, like I said, when we were fighting every week down there at with a High Bank Speedway or whatever.
Yeah, Brownsville, all those tracks.
When we met old Macy, you know. But I had a lot of fun back then, and I miss those days. And I think I want it more now because I wasn't good. You know what I mean? But now that I'm good, I feel like we can both enjoy it. You know what I mean? A lot more. And I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot that we say there, but I don't know. We ain't getting no younger.
No.
You're getting ready to be 44. I'm getting ready to be 40.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have it in me to race anymore.
The midlife crisis.
Yeah, I don't have it in me to race anymore.
But it took me this long to get to where I feel like. I mean, even just when the stats prove it. I'm just in my prime right now. I feel, and like I said, I can be knocked off any day.
Well, that's me. I'm way past my prime. I peaked a long time ago.
I know it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years since you drove the Crown Vic.
Yeah.
It was 7 years.
But yeah.
Before you got in there.
Yeah. No. I took your outlaw car that time over to the drone.
2014.
Was it that long? So time flies by.
That was my first 3 hours. 2014.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to track.
Yeah.
So y'all took it over. So 2014 to 2022. That was 8 years.
Yeah.
So 8 years. But in the 60 laps you did run, you was right back.
Yeah.
So it's not like you. Now, do I think you could go out and outlaw?
I'm not going to win no 54 races in a year again because my fat ass ain't racing 54 races in a year again.
We couldn't afford to run 54 races.
Yeah, I promise you that. But
you run 54 in 1 year or 2 years?
1 year. We won 54 out of 79 that year.
79. I want to calculate. I'm going to get a schedule. I'm going to calculate.
Yeah.
How many races do you think I ran last year? I mean, really?
I don't know.
You got to think.
4 a night. Let's see.
Well, 3 a night. 3 a night.
24 nights.
Oval,
you probably ran
8,
60.
Modified. That was a drone.
Yeah. You probably ran 60 races last year.
That's at the drone.
Yeah.
You got to think. Since the drones quit, I ran 10.
Well,
I've ran 10 races.
Yeah. What's a lot of people, like I tell people this a
You
lot.
don't think about that, but really you do.
Well, here we are. We're still going, yeah. But I tell people this all the time, and people don't understand this. Like, when you race at the sports room, and you hit Salem here or there, or you hit Speedrome here or there, you maybe run 25 races a year on average, a normal person. You know what I'm saying?
Well, normal 16 to 20 races is a championship.
Yeah.
So
you might run 24 races. I try
to run that in March.
Yeah, well, that's what I tell people.
That's why I say I can't quit. There's no way that I can.
Well, that's what I tell people because
I can scale back. I'm okay with scaling back, but I don't think I could quit. What else am I gonna do?
Now, people don't understand that. Like when I was doing it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a lot of times Wednesday, Thursday. Like it was so much work.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, it was so much work.
Like fair weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love nothing more than being on pressure though. Like everybody's like, why do you drive so much at the racetrack? Like, don't you ever have time for it? Time for what? I don't want to sit there and watch other people race. I'm here to race. I want to race. And then what am I gonna do? I'm going to sit back here, I'm going to get tired, I'm going to get fat, I'm going to eat.
See, that's what I like about Fair Week. Going to eat all the different places, sit up in the stands, watch the race.
Like, I didn't even know you all were going to be at Scottsburg, when I popped up there, and
hell, I was announcing.
I know, I didn't know you was going to be there, and Tanya come walking down through, or no, Caden told me, I think, on the way there or whatever, and then we met Tanya when we got there, and Devin was with me. And I got to thank them, too. They helped me a lot. I almost forgot about them. Devin and Sambo and underrated. Underrated, right? Motorsports, whatever they call it. But I had a lot of fun with it. You see, now I could quit and let someone drive for me because I had a lot of fun with Devin. When I got in trouble at the track, but I had to scale back. I was scaling back anyways, and I was sitting out letting Devin run. And I had, even when little Eric used to drive, our cars, I had a lot of fun. I could probably step away if I still owned one, but then I just wouldn't do that because. Hell, I don't pay for my racing. So. Yeah. Well, I mean, I do, but, I don't see how you do it. I give you credit on that.
You just do.
Because Dad, it tears him up.
Yeah.
No, still to this day. He told me at Salem, I'm going to build me one of these. Dad, come on. Well, I said, if you build one, I'm going to drive it. He goes, no, for me. I said, no.
Well, I hope he don't build one because I know who'll be building it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he and Wayne, he said, I guess I'm going to have to buy a new suit. I said... Look, Dad, I've seen you run the last race. I'm not saying you can't drive no more, but you can't see. Yeah. I'm going to go, and that was the thing. He did awesome driving. Yeah. But the intersection, I'm thinking maybe I was more nervous because it was my car and I still had a race to run too. But, dude, if he was anything like that in his younger years, dude, I bet he was fun to watch. Yeah. But I tell you right now, he said he couldn't see, so he just went, and they all went around him. But I tell you what, he was shooting the intersection with Raymond and them. I was like, oh, God, I ain't going to have a car left. Dennis, he was loving it, Dennis was like, yeah, maybe I'm getting a chance to get out of here. He tears it up, But I was like, Dad, your vision's messed up, man. Yeah. He knew it. Yeah. And he's content. Yeah. I don't know if he's happy, but he accepted it. He had a lot of fun. The smile on his face was that was worth all of it, and I'm glad I was able to return the favor, because Dad, he never told me no. No. If I wanted, I went to Anderson. Hell, I ran figure 8. Yeah. I wasn't supposed to. Yeah. We was fast, though. We ran out of gas. Yeah. Because we stood by it running all night. For a heat.
It's cold, yeah.
On New Year's Day. That's the one that gets me, dude, because I was going to win that race, man, and Dad said, what'd you do? I said, what'd y'all do? I said, what didn't y'all do? He's like, no. I said, heater worth it? Yeah. He said, yeah, it's cold.
All right, well, it was fun.
No, thank you for having me on. It was fun.
I want to say thanks for Slick to coming on. But all right, until next time, I'll be trading sliders. All right, everybody, that was the interview with Ricky Puckett. Like I said, my little brother. I didn't pick on him too much, but I think. After listening to that interview, I think you guys will realize that he might be growing up just a little bit. I told him, I said, well, hell, it only took you 40 years, so it shouldn't be bad, but super happy with how that interview turned out. Yeah. Like I said, Ricky, he even admitted he was the first one. He's done some wrong and then went down a path that he shouldn't, and he talked about that and talked about, how that affected his life and affected his kids and, and how he missed out on a lot of stuff and, how he grew up and, honestly, has become in the last 5 or 6 years, if not the best, one of the best drivers at the Sports Show Speedway.
I've always said Ricky was one of the best race car drivers there is. It's kind of funny because I kind of put Ricky and Raymond Johnson in the same category just because kind of the way they act. But Ricky's one of them guys that if you're at the racetrack and your stuff's tore up, and I don't care if you crashed with him the week before, he's going to come over and help you try to fix your stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way he is. He'll help anybody. I mean,
that's he'll help anybody at the racetrack. And I told Ricky this, and he was kind of shocked when I told him this. I said, I got our dad's fabrication ability, and I've got our dad's knowledge and car setup. I said, and I won a lot of races, but I won them just because of traffic and how good my race car worked. And I told Ricky, I said, you straight got dad's driving ability.
Yeah.
Like, just get in, drive junk. It don't matter. The car don't got to be right. Just get it close. I mean.
I've seen Ricky take junk race cars and just kill them guys with it before. It's just, he's just an amazing race car driver. I mean, he always has been.
Yeah, he's, and that's what I told him. I said, man, I'm proud of you. And he almost started crying on me. He was like, and I told him, I said, come on, man, it ain't like that. He said, well, I didn't think you ever say that. I said, don't get cocky. I didn't say I wouldn't slap you.
Yeah.
I just said I was proud of you. So,
but still have to pull the big brother out.
Yeah. So, all jokes aside, it was a really good interview. And I think, and Ricky even said it, I think he gets a misconception that people think, that he's a punk or, and at one time he kind of was, always had a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
But who don't? You know what I'm saying?
But Ricky grew up at the Drome, and I was taught when I drove there, you can't let people run over you. Yeah. I mean, you have to take care of it right then and there. You can't wait next week. You do it then. You don't, and that's what I like about Ricky. He don't wait till next week. If he doesn't like something he did to you, you're gonna find out about it.
That's what he said. He said, I'll be honest, I don't think I ever really started anything with anybody, but I finished a lot of shit.
That's the way it is with me. Everybody talks about me wrecking people all the time, spinning people out, and all of a sudden, I passed every single car I ever passed on the outside. I don't understand where people get that from.
Yeah, that's what Ricky said. He goes, I said, well, you had to start at least something. He goes, no, I don't. He said, I mean, I'd be the first to tell you if I did, but I don't think I did. He said, but I finished a lot of shit. I know that.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I know that too, because I was the one putting a clip on the car.
Yeah.
But Ricky's going to scale back racing a little bit this year, and he's just going to concentrate on the modified figure eight car because, I think Dean and them want him out of the Fords because he won so much, and B, he's going to let his boys are going to share a car. They're going to race, alternate. So, he's kind of taking the dad role, and he said if racing ended tomorrow, I'd be okay with that because I'm going to get to watch my kids race.
Right.
And I told him, you'll know when it's time, because he asked me, how did you just stop? I said, you'll just know when it's time.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think by any means, he's, holy shit, Flash. See this cat over here working out?
Yeah.
Like, what? Hold on. Side note. What the hell is that guy doing?
I don't know.
He must be one of the few people who have a car in New York City.
Yeah.
You don't need to be doing leg workouts like that.
Exactly.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
But he's probably got to walk 15 miles like we did yesterday.
Yeah, he's stretching his hamstrings out. Yeah. This dude's over here doing lunges at Brooklyn Bridge Park.
Yeah.
He must have heard us. He quit now. He's like, he's assholes.
Yeah.
But all seriousness, I really enjoyed the interview with my little brother, and I hope you guys get to see another side of him, a side that helps people and will do so much for so many, and get a bad rap and one thing funny he said about that, he goes, I mean, at least they're talking about me.
Yeah.
I said, well, yeah, I mean, you're right. They are definitely talking about you.
Yeah.
But, really good interview, really fun interview, like I said. And
I don't know what's worse, Bobby. That guy over there is rolling around on the ground.
Yeah. What the?
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what that guy
you can see anything in New York, guys.
Yeah. And especially here in the summertime.
Yeah.
Here in the wintertime now, we don't get to see way that many sights. But we're going to get into next week's events and the Slider of the Week, and then we're going to hop off here and finish our trip here in New York and get back. We got next 3 or 4 weeks, we got some really, really big interviews coming up.
Yeah.
So
should be good.
Yeah, please, tell everybody about it. I mean, we have some Hall of Famers, some current national champions.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of big interviews coming up. Let's put it that way.
If anybody wants to get their name on the show, we can get your name out there. If you got a business or something, just let us know. We like I said, we didn't have nobody this week, so we're just kind of winging it on our own.
Yeah.
But,
well, honestly, I probably could have got us a sponsor this week.
Yeah.
And just like the Slider of the Week award, I think I've got somebody that well, I've had 2 people reach out.
Yeah.
But, you know, we were so busy this week, I honestly couldn't get everything done because I've got a race car in the garage that's got to be picked up this week too. So
right, yeah.
I got a bunch of stuff going on. But next week, okay, that's loud. Next week, you know, we've got $100K to win. XR crate late model 604 late model race at All-Tech Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're anywhere within 3 or 4 hours of All-Tech Raceway in Florida, you know, make the trip down for the $100,000 to win. XR series 604 late models are really good in the South, but All-Tech Raceway slicks off from top to bottom.
Yeah,
and it's one of the better crate late model, you know, tracks in the country. And I think Barry Bronin, he's been getting beat up, taking a lot of heat over some things, but I think he really did pick a really good place to finish the XR series out and $100,000 to win XR Nationals at All-Tech Raceway. If you're within 4 or 5 hours, I know it's close to Christmas. It's kind of hard to be making any trips, but if you're close to All-Tech, you might want to check that out.
Yeah.
And something else that's a little closer in our area, at the Southern Illinois Center there in DuQuoin, Illinois, the Junior Knipper 55 for the Power Eye National Midgets and the non-wing micros.
That'd be a good race too.
If you've never been to the Southern Illinois Center, it's essentially like the sports drome for people in our area. It's a little quarter-mile bull ring that you sit right on the racetrack. It's like a basketball gym bleachers, like basketball high school gymnasium bleachers, and the racing there is really, really exciting. And it's, you know, one of the last few races before Chili Bowl.
Yeah.
So you'll get, this event always draws big cars. It draws, I think last year they had like 45, 50 midgets. It's the last event, the last tune-up before the Chili Bowl. I know a lot of guys that come from the West Coast probably beat up and wore out. So but one more event before the Chili Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And this week's Slider of the Week award is going to have to go to Bobby Pierce, starting 12th and running second.
Yeah.
And it was almost Slider of the Week because he was setting up to throw a massive slide job when the drive shaft broke.
Yeah.
But you could see how he turned down the track. So Slider of the Week with this week will be Bobby Pierce, and we can give it to Ricky Thornton Jr. in the mod too. Yeah. Because he set him up in one lap, went from
6th or
I think it was 5th.
5th, yeah.
Yeah, 5th to 1st with a slider, and it was all she wrote after that. So, you know, hats off to everybody at the Dome. It was a fun weekend.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it. Anything else, Flash?
I think that's it, man.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to hop off here. We're going to enjoy New York City. Barry, make this trek across the Brooklyn Bridge. I think it's only like 1.5 miles, 2 miles across the bridge. Hell, we still might be another mile to the bridge.
Yeah. I think we got about a 3-mile trip.
Yeah, we got about a 3-mile trip to get back to the subway, to get back to the hotel, to get some more clothes on because we're going to do a dinner cruise tonight on the Manhattan Hudson River here in Manhattan, which sounded like a great idea when we booked it, but the wind is blowing like 50 mile an hour today.
Yeah.
So
it's white capping out there pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I get seasick real easy, so I don't know how much of a good idea this really was.
Yeah. It'll be all right.
Yeah. So, well, worst case scenario, we get back and dude's doing those workouts again, bro.
Yeah.
That guy's gonna have an ass from days. Yeah. I'm telling you what. I'm about to trip it. You know, we've had a really good time, and hope you guys enjoyed. A little insight to New York City, and like I said, next week we'll get back to racing. You know, we'll have a full racing show. You know, this week we kind of took an impromptu vacation, and I hope everybody enjoyed the interview with Ricky Puckett. Yeah. And until next time, we'll be trading sliders.